Ah, yeah, 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 right. How does that run then? Is that every week or?
Sometimes if I have time, if I'm not doing a actually I was supposed to be doing a webinar this week, but I didn't.
Mm.
I'm planning to go to Africa soon, so I was trying to get everything lined up for that. I got my visa. I'm good to go. I just need to get me an international permit,
All right, we're
driving
live.
permit now.
We are live, mother lovers.
All right.
All right. Vinny, you there?
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
okay, I couldn't hear you. I
Oh,
couldn't
I
hear
had
you
it.
for a
Oh,
sec
that's
there.
right. I had it on mute. All right.
Ah, nice, man. All
So
right.
yeah. So no, I'm excited, man. We're gonna be doing a show with, to me, probably, to me, he's like one of the most talented, smartest guys I've ever met in my life doing this stuff. I've, I think about 15 years have been subscribed to Kahan and his channel. Um, to me, I always see him as like the law guy, but he's also does rap. He does, male swag. He's got Bible study stuff, man. He's like the most talented guy I know is probably this guy right here. And to me, law is just such an important subject. And there's been a lot of people that have been intrigued by the sovereign stuff or the Moors, but I'm more into like Kahan Tazadaq, and we can get into some of that later about sovereigns and Moors and stuff. But to me, law is so important. I mean, we're obviously it affects everybody at some point,
Yes.
whether child support,
Mm.
a driving ticket, getting pulled over, having to go to traffic court. Um, yeah, and it's such a deep subject. It's not something that you could just like spend 5 minutes on, get some cheat code, and then use that to be free. This it's a lot of work, and that's why a lot of people I don't think can pull it off or do it or feel that they can do it and just like bow out and just stay a slave to the system. But Kahan Tazadaq has done it and he's put in the work all the time. And I'm just so excited to do a show on law and whatever else he wants to talk about. But yeah, that's my introduction. Everybody show love to Kahan Tazadaq. This guy's amazing, and we'll get into some cool topics.
So before we go, can I get that link so I can share it with some people? Get some
Yeah, I've
people on
just
Yeah.
your
sent it to
channel.
I've just sent it to you via the Zoom. I'm gonna email it to Vinny as well so he can forward it.
Yeah, I don't see it. You put it in the
If you
chat
go in the
room?
chat,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's a chat
I
in
just
the
posted in the chat room. I don't is it a
Oh,
private chat or something?
oh, yeah. I don't see it.
Yeah, I
My
posted.
Stiggy.
it's in all right, let me send it again. Because it just says chat and then like I go to your name and then press chat
Hmm.
and then I
You
send
see
it
the
there.
message that I posted right there?
I
Post
see
the
it.
link. Yeah.
Oh, where's that?
Okay, now I see
Okay, there
it.
you go right
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
There it is right there.
yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
see the one I posted though?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you know what? I
Yeah.
sent it to you. Yeah, I sent it to you.
Yeah, I got it now. I saw it that time right
Okay,
there.
cool. Love,
All
man.
right,
Love.
so I guess whatever questions they have, let me try and get some people on here. Guess
All
you
right.
guys could just fire away, man.
Well, good to meet, man. My name Mys or Mys Diggy. You know, you could call me Diggy, whatever. From
What is
London.
it? Sniggy or Diggy? What is it?
Diggy. Just say Diggy. It's probably the easiest
What
way.
with a D like Delta?
Yeah, Delta. Yeah, that's
Diggy. All
right.
right, I'm
Yeah.
digging Diggy. All right,
That's why I
got
got
you.
a bit of accent.
Yeah,
It's a little bit of accent. But
just a
yeah,
little bit. Just a
so
little bit.
the law thing, man, it's very interesting because I think I sort of started finding out more about it during the whole lockdowns. You know, they gave us enough time to do research and whatnot, and obviously finding out, you know, through the lies that we're told that a lot of things went back to the whole birth certificate thing, and you know, it kind of hits you as a shock. Like, what? What do you mean? Like, so from birth, I've been kind of put into the system or our parents put us into the system. But it is still very hard for a lot of people to kind of understand. And I'm sure, like, you must have people ask you many questions, Tazadaq. But if you were to explain in layman's terms what kind of system we're in, how would you how would you break it down to someone? Just as an
Well,
intro.
I would say the entire system is all about commerce, right? So a lot of this stuff that and I've been studying this stuff for a long time, right? And I'm actually still a student, right? but I would say that the entire system revolves around commerce. Everything's commercial, right?
Mm,
And one of the things that I don't like about the system, and in colloquial speech, we say system, but when you start to look at the wordplay that they use, the word system also refers to a sewer. So a system is essentially a sewer, and they're pretty much keeping us in a sewer, right?
mm,
And that's because we're primarily taught everything in colloquial speech and common parlance in school, right? Like we're taught to walk in line on a single file. We're taught to respond to a name from birth. We're taught, and this is engendered into us from the inception, right after birth, by our parents, right? They make us believe that we're actually the name, right? But our parents had no awareness that the name that we're enunciating is not really our given name that they gave us. Because what happens when someone's born in a hospital, right?
mm,
Shortly after the birth, some lady or some guy comes over and say, and this is before mom checks out. Now, if she's a single mother, they just deal with mom. If it's the mother and the father, they'll deal with mom and the father, but still, whether the father signs or not is not essential. It's mother. Because when she signs, she's signing as an informant, right? Even if the mother is
Mhm.
married, they asked her to sign with her maiden name, not with her marital name. So, what is a child that doesn't have a father? It's essentially a bastard. So, who's fathering the child, even if the father is present, the state is. So, for that very inception right there, you're really giving the state like authority over your property. You essentially just signed it over. And so this is why when you fast forward and if a child um, becomes disorderly
mm,
and they're not being obedient to you and you decide to discipline your child, if the child goes to school and report that, then child protective services or someone will come in and snatch the child away because you signed the child over at the beginning. So the entire system revolves around that. And so what's the whole point? People would say, well, why would someone do that? I don't believe that. The government wouldn't do that. Not this beautiful government, right? Why would they do that? Because it goes back to what I said. It's all about commerce. The entire system is a money making for profit entity. So there's something known as 27 CFR 72.11. And when you read that, important parts, it says that all crimes are commercial. All crimes are commercial. So even if someone commits murder, it's commercial. They don't tell them that. But if you go and look at the indictment or when the person got convicted, if you pull the court case, because I've done this, you'll see that there's several bonds attached to that court case. And so most people don't comprehend what keep people confined. Now, think about it. If you generally commit like a murder, what do you generally get? How many years do you generally get if you murder someone? If it's murder in the first degree
Well,
in the
like
United States,
15 or something.
it's typically 25 to life.
yeah, that's
Okay.
Murder.
what I thought it was. Yeah.
If it's murder in the first degree, it's typically 25 to life, right? Which could be longer, right? Depending on what type of robe. And I'll use words like that because I don't want it to get flagged. So generally, when I use the word robe, I'm talking about the black robe, the judge, the
Mm,
Yeah.
priestly robe that he comes out in. If I say briefcase, I'm generally talking about an attorney because I don't like to use their words because YouTube like
Hmm.
the flags thing.
flag. Yeah.
But nevertheless, so you get 25 to life. So I started thinking that I said, And then if you go and purchase a home, like you could do what? A 15-year mortgage, which is a short-term mortgage, or you could do a 30-year mortgage. So essentially, it's almost the same amount of time that it will require you to buy a home, right? I mean,
Wow.
people don't think about this, right? You can
Wow.
get the
Yeah.
short-term mortgage or you can get the long-term mortgage, which 15 or either 30 years. So 25 to life or more, right? And so when you buy a home, like I sold a home before, like in Vegas, me and the person that I was with. And she had invested into the home before I met her. So in order for her to sell the home, the escrow had to be closed, right? Now, since I wasn't the party on that note, her ex and her had to come to some agreement to close escrow. Now, the guy hadn't paid anything, but the fact of the matter was that his name was on that contract, right? And so everything revolves around contracts, everything.
Mm-hmm.
So they told her, well, the home is all ready to go, but we can't sell it until he signs because we can't close escrow. So I started doing all these researches about escrow, just looking up the word. See, what we're taught on the like surface level is never really the truth. There's three forms of English, and this is what I've learned over the years. There's like formal English, like I may say, well, how are you today? How is everything, Phil? And then there's a slang. I'd be like, yo, what's good? What's popping, son? See, that's slang. There's a different form of English, like it
Yeah.
or not. And then there's a third form of English that's called legalese, which is the language of law. Well, words, they're written exactly the same, but they carry an entire different meaning, right? Like person, right? Words like that, like
Yeah.
person.
Mm.
We
Can you
would never
break that
think.
down? Can you break that one down? Because a lot of people they have no idea.
Well, I mean, so, and this is one of the things that I don't appreciate about the Moors. A lot of the Moors, and I'm not making mockery of anyone, right? But a lot of the Moors like to use that word person. They may say I'm a private person, but at the end of the day,
Mm.
a person is a person, right? And usually when you're using the word person in law, it's referring to a corporate entity, right? When you define the word person, like for instance, if I go and store in the United States, and the UK is the same, but
Yeah,
they
yeah,
just
yeah.
use different terminologies, right?
Mm.
They just use, but it's pretty much the same, right? So if I store a LLC or S corp, right, that is considered to be like a person. It's a corporation.
Mm.
So
Mm-hmm.
we're essentially corporations. Like from right after we signed the birth certificate, we became what is known as U.S. persons, which are really U.S. citizens, right? So most of us have we have like a dual citizenship, but we're unaware of it because of something known
Mm.
as aphasia, right? It's called aphasia. Aphasia is essentially like brain damage. It means we've utterly lost the ability to be able to properly comprehend words. We think we
Mm.
understand, like when we get court cases, we really think that we understand what we're reading, but most of us don't. Because, for instance, you take the word, I remember getting something once from court. It says, if you don't report, you shall be fined $2,000 and you shall spend up to a year in jail.
And shall,
Now,
that shall's the
Mm.
key word, right?
yeah, you shall, right? So
Yeah.
so I said, let me, I'm frightened because I'm just learning this stuff.
Mm.
So it says, oh shit, I shall go to jail for. So I'm learning this stuff. So I'm looking, and I go and look up. I got a Black Lord's Dictionary,
Mm.
and I still looking at. I said, wait a minute, shall is interpreted as may. So I shall spend a year in jail. Okay, it's interchangeably with may. I may spend a year in jail or I may not.
Mm.
So
They
it's
want you to
dependent on my
consent.
response, right?
Yeah. They want you to
So,
consent, right?
right, they want me to consent. And this is how they get us to consent
Mm.
out of fear. And this is why I say we have to be totally undaunted, which means you can't have any fear. When you're dealing with the system or any of these entities, if you have fear, that's what they capitalize on, right? So you have to be
Yeah.
utterly undaunted. You can't fear when you're doing this. And also at the same time, you have to be a thinking person. Because I've seen a lot of people over the years get like lots of time in jail or prison for doing this stuff. Because
Right.
Yeah.
there is me, I draw lines. Like I don't listen to what other people say. I'll read it for myself. And if I can't find a law that supports that, I'll say I'm not going to touch this. I'm not going to do this. because the end game doesn't look well for people that do this. I've seen people do things with bonds, and these guys, I'm talking about these guys was gurus, right? These
Hmm.
guys was like, I'm like, wow. But then some people just get to a point where they think they're untouchable, and then they're like, get him.
See,
You
it's
just
funny.
don't
Me
see
and
it.
Diggy were talking about this before we started the show. We were talking
Yeah,
about some big names with whether the sovereigns or the Moors or these big name gurus. And then you end up seeing them get arrested and go to jail. And then the
Yeah.
audience has got to be like, oh man, so this stuff doesn't work. And then it puts that fear in everybody to where they just back down. But yet there's
right.
people like you who aren't going to jail and are helping lots of people. And so,
Well,
yeah,
that's how.
Because
Yeah,
I
that's
tell people where to draw the line, right? Like, so for instance, case in point, right? So when H. Tucci, I don't want to say her full name, went to prison for telling people to collect on those TDA accounts, I'm taking you all the way back to 2017, 2018, right? There was an influx of people in the United States corporation, according to 28 USC 3002, subsection 15A, right? The United States is a corporation, right? It
sheesh.
says it. You can look it up, right? You
yeah.
can look it up yourself. That's what it is. And
Mm.
you know, I've had briefcases doesn't say that. Well, it says that right there verbatim. It's a corporation. So now, as we go back, as I was saying, most people that live here don't realize that we have a dual citizenship. Slightly at the birth, we have a dual citizenship. We're born Americans, right? Because the country is America. But for some strange reason, I started paying attention. I say, when they announce the
The United
president, every
States.
president that comes out, why don't they ever say the president of America? They say the president, ladies and gentlemen, the president of the United States, Donald
Uh-huh.
J. Trump. It's ironic. They're not saying America,
Hmm.
because they're all a part of the corporation, 28 USC 3002, which is Washington, D.C., right? And the other locations that help make up that particular part of the country. So we're taught in school from a very young age that when the word United States is mentioned, we've been taught to believe that it's talking about all 50 states united.
Yeah.
And so now, after you taught someone this all of these years, then you try and go back and unteach that. This is how I came up with the name Deprogram Enlightener, right? After
Yeah,
I
that's how I
studied all of
first
this
remember
stuff,
you.
yeah. After I studied all of this stuff, I said, yo, the first to get anyone to believe this, they have to be deprogrammed. Then you have to enlighten them. So I said, wait, hold up. That's the name right there. Deprogram Enlightener. So the people had to first be deprogrammed. Then I started learning when you try and teach people this stuff, they get angry, they want to fight you, they get hostile. And one of the things that I've learned is you can't prove anything to anyone, because each
Hmm.
time you keep trying to prove it, they're going to say, well, that worked, do this. That worked, do this. So now I just give them a conditional acceptance. They'll say, oh, that stuff don't work. I don't believe it. I just say, hey, you're entitled to that belief. I'm not here to try to convince you to do it, right? It works for me every time. And so when someone said it doesn't work, I say it must have been something that you done wrong. Because if you do it right, it's going to work, because it worked for me every time. So that means there's something that they're doing that isn't correct. But
Hmm.
your
But then
initial
their
question,
pride and ego is gonna get them angry.
yeah, yeah. So your initial question, everything is based on commerce. It's all about commerce, right?
Mm.
You've heard some people, and I don't even like the term sovereign citizen that they put on people, but you've
Yeah.
heard some people use the term um, ship when you go into a courtroom, right? So essentially, in the United States, we're all swimming in a sea of commerce, right? Now, when you think of commerce, a commercial, where does it comes from? It comes from the word current. And so when you start thinking that, and you think about what America calls a currency, right? A
Mm.
currency. So there's a flow of something, right?
Hmm.
So this current, it's like what? Positive and negative energies. It causes a flow. So when you go into a court, they're calling it a ship. And so a lot of courts are no longer set up like that, where they have that swinging gate, but they refer to that as a bar. So you still have people that try and play that kind of game. And these are the people that primarily get slam dunked. They said, oh, well, if I pass the bar, am I going to be under your jurisdiction? Because the three stages of law is status, jurisdiction. Percent of people in America go to court, they skip the first two steps. They
Right.
go straight into adjudication.
Tazadaq, say the three again because you it kind of cut out a bit.
Status,
Yeah,
jurisdiction, and adjudication.
adjudication, right?
Most people, when they go to court, they go straight into adjudication. And that's by design. And so I tell you, when the robe starts saying, what is your name? Where do you live? Or are you Mr. So-and-so? He's already jumped to adjudication. Because right after he says that, he tells you what you're being charged with. So now he's adjudicating you. But the first thing that's supposed to be established for the record is your status. So this is why, now this is where I agree with the Moors. Now, by the way, I'm a Moor. I went through that school of thought, right? But it just wasn't enough. I'm going to just keep it real. It wasn't
Yeah.
enough
Right.
because they taught that, and when I became a Moor, I already knew a lot of this stuff, right? But my cousin was telling me, come on, let's go over here and study. So I used to go to the Harlem Black Theater and build with them. And I was like, well, I'm not really learning anything here. But I process all the paperwork just to see. Let me test this to see if it works. And it really doesn't work. So this is why you see a lot of Moors that say, nah, we don't touch that sovereign stuff. It's really not sovereign stuff. That's something that the USGOV put on people. That's a title. And
Yeah.
so if you
And the
don't,
police were being told, if you
right,
run into these sovereigns, like be
right,
afraid and
right,
basically, you might have to kill these people. I
right.
had cops telling me this.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
What?
But I mean, and that's because there's been some
Oh,
people, if you look at some people, they were very violent, right?
Yeah.
There was a guy and his son that had a shootout
Yeah,
where
that's
they
the one I
killed.
remember.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They
So
got
there's
out the
some
car and
people like
shot the
that.
cops.
Yeah,
serious?
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
What? And he was on a
Father and
whole.
son,
His whole thing was like he's a
the
sovereign citizen.
sovereigns. Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
And that's when it got big and all the police were then being notified, like, yo,
yes.
you deal with these people, and then they're using those guys as examples, like,
Hmm.
you know,
Is it possible he was like a plant though, like to
Nah,
make it?
nah.
nah,
There's
Nah.
a whole party of them.
Right.
I've heard one of their leaders that was on 60 Minutes. He said, our guns, quote, by the way, our guns are not for the birds, it's not for the deer, it's for these agents. End of quote. I mean, he said that live on 60 Minutes. I'm
Wow.
yeah,
like, well, this is crazy. Like, and so then they started using that title, sovereign citizen. So anyone now that prescribes to any type of thing that may be like a counter offer to what they're offering you, they'll say, oh, that's sovereign citizen paperwork. We can't accept that, which is really illegal, right?
hmm
Because everyone's
Mm,
entitled to due process of law.
mm.
So if I can't submit my documentations into the record because you're labeling it sovereign citizen documentation, that's illegal. It's illegal. So now you got to come back with a counter offer. Well, let me get your signature or something of that nature signed, stating that you refuse to accept my documentation. Most of them are not going to do that. So one of the ways around that I learned is you go in with two witnesses, right? Just like it says in the scriptures, Matthew 18 and 15, right? So you take in two witnesses and then you trying to get them to accept it. If they don't, you get both witnesses to make affidavits and you submit that into the record. You got them because they're refusing your documentations, which is
that's
illegal.
awesome.
And they know that, but they're still doing it because they know that most people that try this, most people that try this don't know it. They watch
hmm
YouTube videos and they go and try it. This is where you see so many people clown in court. And
Yeah.
so when the people that's against this stuff say, I told you this stuff doesn't work, it's because the caliber of people that's going in and trying it. Because I've seen in the first few seconds, I say that this guy, he doesn't know what he's doing. And if you listen to him, they're all pretty much regurgitating the same thing, something that they've heard on the internet. So it goes back to what I was about to say. It goes back to status. Like, what are your status? So if I'm going into court and saying that, if I haven't established my status for the record, because most of what I would do, I'm going to submit it into and camera and chambers, right? So that's a way of saying I'm submitting it to the robe in private. Most people that's going to submit things into the record, they're going to go through the clerk of court. I'm going to go in camera. I'm going to send it into the chambers to the robe and deal with him directly with an administrative remedy. You understand? I'm not going to try and go through, because if I go through the way that they want me to go through, I'm going to already be under their jurisdiction. And most people, let's say for traffic, I've seen a lot of Moors, a lot of people that they call sovereign citizens, right? They lose on the side of the highway. So the constable pulls them over, right? The cop, constable on patrol. And they're making their argument or whatever. And the cop writes them a citation and tell them that they got to come to court, right? So now that's his claim. But they don't, a lot of people claim to understand the law, but they really don't. So when he gives them that citation, that's his claim. So that's submitted into the record when they get to court. So when they go to court, they're usually bringing some document trying to argue the merit of the case. This is one thing that most people don't understand. I'm never supposed to try and prove my innocence, because that's how I entrap myself. The opposing party is supposed to prove that I'm guilty. So I'll submit whatever because that's how they trap you up. That's what lawyers do. They get you to talk so they could trap you up with words, right? Aphasia, right? And most people are polemics extraordinaire. They love the art of disputation. They love to argue. And that's what lawyers
That
are
was
paid
my
to do.
problem. That was my problem when I first started out, and I got my butt kicked all the time, Tazadaq.
You see?
Yeah,
But most people love to argue, right? So I submit whatever it is into the record, but you got to have a claim, because if you don't have a claim, they call it a complaint. But
yeah,
really, only a man can file a claim, right? But
exactly.
in the
That's why they
court, they're
do
going to
compl
call it a complaint,
because they're not acting as a man.
right?
They're a corporation.
Right. Now,
They're
if
a
you listen
person.
to the word itself, it's telling
Yeah,
you something. A complaint. Lawyers complain. A man files a claim. But that's what I'm talking about, status, right? So if I go into the capacity of a man, that's the highest status under the creator, right? There's no higher status than that, because man created the courts, man created the police department, man created the robes and all of that, right? But most don't go in under that particular status. They go in and argue, oh, I'm sorry, jurist. And the robe, he's heard all of this before, right?
mm.
He heard, he'll usually threaten them with contempt, and then they don't know what to do. I've seen people
That
get
was me
beat.
too.
Yeah. I've seen people really get beaten in court physically. They literally get physically beaten and removed from court because he found them in contempt and they didn't know what to do. But only a man can file a claim. So when the constable writes that citation, that is his claim, and that's going to be in the record. So if you go into court and you don't have a claim, then why are you there? Because usually the reason that the judge dismissed their case is failure to state a claim upon which relief can be granted. What's his claim? It's a citation claiming that you did this, you did that, you did that. What is your claim? You're just going in to argue against his claim, so you lose. So they lose. And this is why you see a lot of I don't want to call the people sovereign citizens, a lot of people that study these procedures, that they go in and they make argument, but they don't have a claim. There's no claim. So the judge, so what do you have coming to you? The only thing you have coming to you is either jail or debt. That's it. Because you don't have no claim. Now they've asked you to pay something. You don't have a counter offer. So you have nothing coming to you but jail or debt. And they argue, themselves right in jail. I've seen it happen again. I've had a guy that I used to deal with. I call him One West. I help. Well, not me. Tazadaq helped the guy with some documentations, and he's going in. He's dealing with child support, whatever. And so now he's the he he's the plaintiff in this particular case, right? So he's bringing the case, right?
That's what you want, right? You don't want
Right.
to be the defendant
That's what
because
you
then you're
want.
just there
Right, right,
defending. You want to be on the offense.
right.
That's what you want. Now, the way he got to be the plaintiff is because he and I was going back and forth with a lot of things with these people, and now the tables had turned. Because the interesting thing about words, if you listen, if you read a law dictionary, there's something known as a counteroffer. A counteroffer, the important parts about a counteroffer is that it has the legal effect of rejecting the original offer. So it's taking the original offer and it's sitting to the side, and now your offer is on the table. So he has a counter offer, which made him the plaintiff, right? A conditional acceptance is always a counter offer, but he didn't understand that. So the guy, he's going to court, he's happy. So now, prior to him going in as the plaintiff, he was always saying, they said, is One Western court today. I am here as the authorized representative, right? Okay, cool. They they kept rescheduling on him. So now we flipped it. He files a counter offer. He's going in as a plaintiff. So now the road calls him and say, okay, is One Western court today? And the guy goes, no, he's not here. I'm here as an authorized representative. Now this guy's bringing a case this time because he's bringing a case to get it dismissed, right? So he said, yo, man, you ain't tell me yo, I gotta tell you that if you bring the case, you want to be the name this time? Because think about it. In order for any of us to be a plaintiff, we have to either swear or affirm that that's us, right? If not, the case is going to get thrown out. So the judge asked him 3 times. The judge said, I'm going to ask you one more time. Are you him or not? And he said, no, I'm here as authorized. So the judge threw the case out. And guess what? All he had to do was say that was him, and the dude would have won the case. He would have won the case.
Wow.
Instead, they filed the counter offer and got him arrested. Call him back to court. Call him back to court. Now, check out when they call him back to court, when they filed the counter offer, this time he went in and said he was the name, and they arrested him. I seen the same thing happen with Kadar. When you bond out, and a lot of people, they try and practice this, but they really don't understand it. And some of the people are very intelligent, but in law, it's just a whole different world. So Kadar was in the box. Now, he had bonded out before, right? So he kept going in, hey, I'm the paramount security interest holder, and so on and so forth. And the judge said, okay, well, if you're not Kadar, we're gonna send you back to jail. And so I said, well, what did she say to you? I'm not aware of all of this is going on. And he said, she kept telling me to go back. I said, what are you doing? I said, well, did you bind out or anything? He said, yeah, I bind. I said, well, listen, bro, if you bind out, you swore that you was the name on that. So now you're really violating the contract. I said, I guarantee you this. When you go back, just say that you're the name because you already said that you was him. That's how you got the bond and got out the first time. He went in, said he was the name. Should let him post bond. He was in there for nothing. So you really have to understand this stuff. Really have to understand it to do
Yeah,
it.
especially for you, the audience, or anybody getting into this. This is what I was trying to say in the beginning. I mean, this is so deep. You're not going to just figure it out in 5 minutes. There's no magic, one phrase to use, just some cheat code where it's going to be easy. Like, this got to be like a big thing. Like, you got to spend a lot of time. And like Tazadaq,
Yeah,
he's been doing it for I think like 16 years, and
yeah,
basically every day. He's putting in more work than most of the top lawyers out there. It's one little mistake. And like he said, they can't wait to get you on a mistake. And
Yeah.
I was one of those people, man. Like right away I was all into like, well, I don't need a driver's license, and I'm driving around without a license, getting brought into traffic court all the time. And I was making just little mistakes, like you said, and I was just constantly getting my butt kicked because I just would miss little things. And you think you're smart and you know a lot, but you don't know everything. And these people are smart, especially the judges, and they're gonna catch you slipping, and they're gonna make an example out of you.
Yeah,
So do not just go and do this stuff and end up in jail. What you want to do is you want to link up with someone like Kahan Tazadaq, where we'll have links and stuff. uh you're gonna want to buy his books, like, or there's ways of you know paying and having him help you with paperwork and teach you, like, you're not going to just listen to this even if we're on for 2 hours. You're not going to become an expert, and I wouldn't recommend going out and doing this unless you have the help of someone like Kahan Tazadaq. And get his books. We'll drop links to all that, his website and stuff. And but this is serious stuff, and it's so important to me. That's why I've been wanting to do this for a long time with you. Um, because so many people like me, I was getting beat up in what was it, child support and all that back in the day. I ended up winning a couple of years ago
oh
because
yeah,
I yeah,
Oh,
yeah, bro. And it was, because of the help of Kahan Tazadaq. And me, it was the same thing. I always went in as the defendant, and I'm sitting there arguing, trying to act like I'm smart and I know something, and I'm trying to play word games with these people. But I didn't realize that as a defendant, you're just there defending. Like,
yeah,
nothing you're saying matters. You're just there to
right.
defend yourself. I could be calling her out on a bunch of stuff that she's wrong on, doesn't matter. And finally, it was like this judge one day was just like, and I'd be like, well, what about this? Like, and he was like, yeah, great question, but you need to go and like the judge basically, I think, felt bad for me after a while because they also knew that this woman was crazy. I'm not trying to talk crap, but she was like, even the court didn't like her. So the judge
yeah,
was sort of like, you need to fill out paperwork, and basically, like he was just saying, be like, where I'm the one now bringing it to court, and I'm
Mm,
the prosecutor, and she's the defendant. And once I was able to do that, she was done. And then she got a lawyer, and the lawyer basically was like, "Yo, you're going to jail for 6 months. You better take whatever deal this guy says."
wow.
wow,
And she was pissed. And then I was just like, "Yeah, so for you not to go to jail, like, we're done with this." Like, again, I'm not some deadbeat dad who doesn't want to give my daughter money. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be held to this, like, where if you miss a payment, we're going to take your license away, and we're going to just dock, with money. Like, I'm gonna put money aside. Like, I'll do anything for my daughter. I love my daughter, but I didn't want to be part of that system where she could use it against me all the time. So I basically got all the debt that I owed was dismissed, like, done away with, and that I don't pay her any child support no more. Now, again, it's not because I don't want to take care of my daughter, but now, instead of giving that money to her so she could go out and hang out with whatever guy or whatever she wants to do, I'm putting money aside and doing stuff for my daughter with my money. You know what I mean? So I was actually able to beat child support uh, by, like, what he's
brother.
saying. Uh, it was just like knowing how to do the paperwork and turning it into my court, and not showing up as a defendant all the time, thinking, well, I'm in court, I'm going to argue and try to make her look bad and get her on stuff. You ain't there for that. You're there as a defendant, and you're just there trying to block shots the whole time. You know what I mean? You ain't shooting. You're just there trying to block. So you want to be the shooter. You want to be on the offense, and to do that, you got to fill out the paperwork and bring it as your case against that person. And yeah, uh, super
It's,
important. I know so many people probably listening have got issues with courts. So I hope you enjoyed the show, and you're gonna see, like, how smart this guy is. Uh, I know my audience is I would say probably all Christian or mostly Christian. This guy is true disciple of Christ. He's also does Bible studies every week, or multiple times sometimes. Uh, one of my favorites is when you were talking about Lot and going into Sodom and Gomorrah. You had me laughing. Uh, so I mean, he's a great Christian rapper. His raps are great. I remember telling you, Diggy, on one of your shows years ago. You remember
Yeah,
the whole Nepal thing with
yeah,
Killer
yeah.
Priest, his girlfriend, and Kahan, that video you made.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I, I was telling his whole audience and everyone promoting that video. I
That's
mean,
hilarious,
this
man.
guy is so
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
talented.
yeah. But I'm not Christian. I really don't prescribe to religion. I believe
Mm.
in the
Yeah,
creator.
Well, you see,
But
I remember you saying that. So
yeah.
when
but
Vinny
you're a
said that,
disciple of Christ, you talk about, and you
Yeah, well,
say that Christ
I
is the
just use
heaven.
that to like because people need something to relate to, right?
Hmm.
Mm,
And that's a name that they really understand. But when I'm talking to people that I know, I use Yahusha, right? That the
mm.
Hebrew or not Christ, but yeah, I
Jesus.
mean, but I don't have a problem with Christians. I just don't. I just think religion it manipulates a lot of people thinking. You know?
Mm.
I agree too, and I get into that where I don't, I'm not Catholic, Protestant, or anything, but I'm a believer in Jesus and a follower of Jesus. And with you having the name True Disciples of Christ, and I know like obviously you're about Jesus too. Not saying
Yeah,
you're Catholic or anything like that.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I believe in a higher deity. Yes,
Yes.
for sure.
What they
I
call
was
they
trying to
called
send this link to a lot of people here, man, but I don't know what's
Okay.
going on with my email. I was trying to get careful. I just had a guy come and give a testimony yesterday. Andre Butler, after he became a SPC, and he's a truck driver. He was telling me all the remedies he got from me since I helped him do that American National Passport and the Secure Party Creditor process. I mean, this guy has a CDL, and he was just naming off numerous times that they just gave him warnings. Just gave him warnings. It's because you pop up a different way once you put certain things on the record, right? It's literally changing your status and how they relate to you. But I want to warn people, filing paperwork is just not enough. You really, like, as Vinny was saying, you have to burn the midnight oil. You really have to study this. You got to burn the midnight oil. There's no way around it. You can't fake this. If you fake this, you're going to hurt yourself. I promise you. You're going to hurt yourself
Hmm.
and you're going to regret it.
Yeah.
but
And you
how
can't
would
just,
you
like, everything that I say,
mm,
question it. Don't
mm.
believe no one. Don't take anything face value. Anything that I say, go and check it out for yourself. Question it. Never, if someone don't want you to question them, there's something wrong with that person.
Mm.
You gotta
Well
watch
said.
that.
Yeah.
How would one know that what they're studying is the right way though? Because like you were saying earlier, Vinny, about there's a lot of charlatans out there that
Yeah.
kind of, they'll sell you a package or whatever and say, yeah, go through this, blah, blah, blah. And then it doesn't work. So I think that can throw a lot of people off when it comes to this, because like you're saying, you got to really
Yeah.
study it.
Well,
Then
well,
so how, what's the sort of process in knowing that what you're studying is
well,
the correct way? Like you said, Tazadaq said, question what I say even.
yeah.
All
Well,
right, so
I would say testimonies. So like I
Yes.
remember when I brought Kahan
mm,
Tazadaq on Killer Priest, I think two times, but one time he came on, he brought someone who had a testimony to share. So he
Yeah.
had someone on there sharing his testimony. He's talking about now he's trying to get someone on here. So you got people who, it has worked for. I'm watching Kahan riding motorcycles and living a nice life
mm.
and not sitting in jail. Uh,
Yeah.
Right, 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 right. Yeah,
you,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah,
that's a
so
big
I would
point.
say testimonies would be a big thing. So, I'm gonna,
John Bowen. So let me say this. If I could get him on, he's a truck driver. If I could get him on,
Mm.
the guy's discharged over 240 some thousand dollars in debt using Kahan Tazadaq EFT methods. I can't make this up. He was discharging so much that I started to say, "Hey, man, you need to calm down with this because it's not. I'm serious.
you
It's
can
not
mess it up
designed
for
to make a
everybody.
living off of, right? It's to help you get out of your situation, and then you go on and you utilize whatever talent that you have." Because I told him, he said, "Kahan, they sending me checks." I said, "Don't cash it. If you cash that check, it's going to be a trick, and they're going to restore everything that you have." How do I know that? because I had another friend that done that. I told him it was for closed accounts only, right? EFT, electronic funds transfer, right? If you look up, what's the brother's name right there? Diggy.
Diggy. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
challenge you, Diggy. Now, let me ask you something, and
Mm,
your audience. Now, if I have a checking account at a bank, right,
mhm.
and if I close that account, can I go to the bank the next day and deposit money in it? If I close that account,
Well, in the closed account?
yes.
Nah.
All right. So if I close that account and I go there the next day, a week later, can I withdraw money from it?
From the closed account?
Yes.
Nah, not that I know
Okay.
of.
All
Yeah.
right. Now, hold on. Let me see if I can share my screen here. I'm going to show you something.
Mm,
A closed account, when you start to look these words up, and this is what I mean about aphasia and the things that they teach us. Now, in common parlance, in colloquial speech, in school, they teach us a closed account. We can't do anything else with that account. Well, I experiment things. So I closed an account before at a particular bank. I won't give the bank's name. And then I went back years later and I reopened that bank account. And guess what they did? They gave me the same account number. They gave me the same account number. So, wow, that's interesting. So then I
wow.
started studying things about EFT, right? And then I started looking. I'm just up burning the midnight oil. Because once you started studying commerce, it becomes addicting.
Mm.
Like I'm falling asleep trying to learn this stuff.
I
So I
can
looked
tell
up
you
the
enjoy
word.
it, man. He enjoys it.
I looked at the word close account, and it said important part an account that is closed where you can't make any more debits or deposits, but remains open for set-offs. So, set-off means discharge. So that means I could use a closed account to discharge debt. When I told people that, they looked at me as if I was crazy.
What?
So I experimented. And so that's what I'm telling you. I wrote a whole book on this called EFT. Have sold out most of them, but John Bowen has used that book. See if I could get him on to discharge over 240,000. Let's see. He had called me earlier.
Yo, and please do send your links in the chat as well so we can post them.
Yeah.
Um,
See. If you could screen share or
1 second. I'm trying to get him on.
Who's this guy, Vinny? Who's
hold
this
on.
guy?
I want to
Yo,
see
man,
Diggy's hold on. How do I move
man,
this?
just showing the charlatans, boy.
Yeah.
What you got
You
here?
you remember
So
this
this is
guy? You know this guy, Kahan? You see this guy? Carl Lentz?
Oh, he looks totally different, man. I
Yeah,
remember
that's his
him.
mugshot, bro. In
Yeah,
jail. Well, he's on the run now, actually.
he's
This
not picking
guy.
up.
Virginia man facing animal cruelty charges after 20 cats, 8 dogs found dead on his property. Now,
Wow.
Kahan, I told you, you remember like a couple of years ago, I went to this guy's house.
Yeah.
I was with him for months. This guy robbed me. This guy was a complete, you know, heathen, savage, this guy. And yeah, I found out that they arrested him and now he's actually on the run, this guy. But this was one of the first people I was trying to learn from before Kahan Tazadaq.
He looks
Carl
totally
Lentz.
different right there, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, he looks like a complete different person right there.
yep. And I remember you telling me that he hit you up before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
what,
but
Vinny? How did you
but
find out about him, Vinny? How did you
well, because
bump into
I
this guy?
like I think it was like 2011, and I was getting all into the sovereign stuff, and I was doing shows with sovereign citizens, and then I found out about common law, and again, Carl Lentz had testimonies of I was telling you earlier, like the Punjabi tribe out in the UK. He's sitting there helping them get off. He helped the guy in Canada, uh, get off, and he had these testimonies. So I'm like, okay, what's this about? I
Mm,
want to learn about common law. And again, super smart guy. Like he like. Kahan, like he was every day just reading law books and doing this stuff. So he was smart, but he, he ain't like with the character of Kahan Tazadaq. This guy was he was basically using people, and then he ended up playing me and actually robbing me and actually holding uh an AK-47 at I, when
Oh,
he
that's
robbed me,
crazy.
I ended up showing up back at his house to come and get my stuff back. And he had his driveway blocked off with like these tractors and he's got a gun pointed at me. So I called the cops and I was like, listen, this is what's going on. This guy's got my stuff. He stole my stuff. I'm going in his house. I want to get my stuff back. And the cops actually knew about Call. So they were actually like, we can't go on that property. And we're like, Call had like all these lawsuits against the police in the town. So they were like kind of didn't want to deal with this guy. And here it is, I got the cops telling me like, yo, you should just walk away. Like I can't go in there with you. And but me, I was just so mad and I didn't care. I like marched in there with him having his gun on me. And I was able and I was like talking crap to him. I was like ready to fight this dude because I was so mad at what he did. And I was able to get like some of my stuff back, but he still like he still I couldn't find a lot of my stuff, like my computer and like a bunch of things were gone. Um, but he was a real piece of crap. I found out he was like,
Hey,
you know,
Andre Butler.
just taking a lot of money from people,
What's going
and
on?
then
Hey,
he'd give
I'm
them
on
like a
this
little bit,
show.
and then he
Guys
wouldn't
want you
help
to
them,
come
and these people were
on
going to jail and getting
and
in trouble. So
I
he was really
guess
just using
talk about
people.
some of your victories. If you
So
have a few minutes here.
That's crazy, man. That
yeah,
is
so
crazy, Vinny.
um,
Oh
That
no,
is,
right,
yeah.
right,
I ended up meeting a guy,
yeah, right now.
Jay,
We're on right now. Or you could
who
talk through the phone right here if they can hear you.
yeah, we hear you. So yeah, real quick. So then this guy Jay that I met down there, he told me how we
Oh
stayed in
wow.
touch, and he
I
was
had that
like,
over here too.
Carl got arrested, and now he's on the run, basically. So yeah, I wanted to.
That's just, bro, that's a crazy ass story, man.
No, it was
Hey,
crazy. I mean, I could get into more
hold on.
detail, but
Hey guys.
I don't want to
Yo,
waste
I have
Khan's time.
someone I, I have
Yeah,
someone that is gonna give a testimony. He's a trucker I was telling you about.
oh yeah. Nice.
Um can you guys hear him or should I send him the link? Because I have him on my phone right here.
I mean, if he wants to jump in, you can send him a link. I think we can hear him though. Can you hear him, Vinny?
yeah, I heard
Can
him.
you hear him?
Yeah, I'm gonna mute myself. Let you talk.
Can you hear him through my phone?
Right now, I don't.
No, they can't hear you on Joe.
Oh, do I need to speak up?
No, you're speaking
Yeah,
loud.
that I heard. I hear him now.
I can hear you, but can you hear it loud and clear?
Yeah, it's clear enough.
Yeah, you want to make sure people can hear it later. So Andre, we're gonna give him a brief synopsis. So Andre came to a lot of Kahan Tazadaq's seminars and webinars. He's purchased probably almost all of the books and he studied. He's been around for a long time. So, like Vinny, he was dealing with a child support case, and he's a truck driver by profession. So he was getting stopped on a lot of different occasions. So he became a secure party creditor, and then shortly thereafter, he became an American national by using Kahan Tazadaq's book, Shock, Ruin, no, Wipe Your Credit Clean. Wipe Your Credit Clean. The American national passport process is in that book. So I'm going to let him, I just wanted to give you a brief synopsis of who he is. And this is no overnight thing. You got to burn the midnight oil and you got to understand offer and acceptance. You got to understand who you are, where you live, and your status. Those things are very important. Who you are, where you live, and your status. Because if I ask the typical debtor, see, there's two type of people in this world. It's not black, it's not white, it's not Hispanic. It's debtors and creditors. That's how the system see you ultimately. That's what it's going to come down to. And you got to know whether you're a debtor or you're a creditor. Debtors always lose or pay something. Creditors always win and they write the bills, they write the checks. So you could be a debtor or creditor, but you have to know who you are and you have to know where you live. Because one of the jurisdiction traps that the judge gets you on is when you go into a public venue referred to as a court. One of the questions that the judge may say, well, do you still live at such and such address? And that address gives them jurisdiction over you because the zip code is a federal designator that places you under their jurisdiction. So Kahan Tazadaq's response is typically, I'm the paramount security interest holder. I hold all the interest and collateral to all property registered and unregistered belonging to the debtor, Kahan Tazadaq. Then if he say, where do you live? Say, Your Honor, I live within the confines of my skin because I realize I'm not the name and I'm not the physical body. Because after the physical body is gone, and I'm not being facetious, right?
Yeah,
I'm
that's
really being
the whole
realistic.
appear thing too, right? Appear
Right.
in court.
Right. Only a ghost can appear. I can't appear. I make a special appearance, right? You never appear in court. You always make a special appearance. And when I'm specially appearing, I'm appearing as a paramount security interest holder. There is no status higher than the paramount status. So I'm the paramount, listen to what I'm saying, the paramount security interest holder. So I'm holding the highest form of interest and my status is paramount, right? People don't really listen to words like I keep saying because of aphasia. They don't understand it. They think they understand what I'm saying, but if they go back and listen to it years later, they was like, damn, this guy was saying this, but I thought I had it then. Now, how many people told me that? That I thought I thought I understood what you were saying when you was explaining it, but they really didn't. So that's right. You don't appear. You have to specially appear. And also, you got to know where you live. I reside within the confines of my skin because what? I'm a spirit. Because after this body deteriorates, I go on. I don't stop. So I'm not being facetious when I say stuff like that. And I'm saying all of this because Andre know how to talk like that. So it's more than just filing paperwork. You have to know how to respond. And so with that, I'll let you tell him, Andre, some of the remedies you got.
Um,
Can you guys hear him?
Yep, I can hear him. Peace,
Right.
Andre.
okay. One remedy I have went through was when I could say this here. Arkansas pulled me over at one time, and they called me. They said giving me a ticket. Actually, at this point, I was driving with violation of vehicle registration. Just say that. And the officer in Arkansas, I think Arkansas and Missouri, they got their own rules or whatever. So they give me a ticket, and I did not go to court. The ticket was like $800. I'm a truck driver. I gave them my CDLs at the time, and I didn't have a passport at that time. I didn't have a national passport. So I didn't go to court or anything like that. Didn't have time or whatever. Didn't even want to show up in their venue, knowing that I'm an SPC. So, and later on, maybe like 2 years later, I tried to apply for Uber. You know, they kind of like these, they check your background pretty good or whatever. So I was surprised by they came back with that incident that said I didn't show up in court, and it was.
So, they was asking me, could I get someone to give testimony? So I'll call you back in a few minutes at the brother finished doing his testimony. I'll let him hear you because he's doing the traffic side. I'll let you do the discharge side.
You
Right
give him
now,
the links.
Tazadaq is showing. Yeah, just give them the links, man. Give them the links because this is showing and proving right here. For the people that obviously are maybe you're like, oh, I don't know, maybe he's just trying to sell something. It's like if you got you could tell that these are people really like he's really talking about the situations that he was in. It doesn't sound like it's scripted or anything like that.
I mean, he got a video of it. He was playing the video.
Right.
Yeah. That's the accident I got a video of. It really
Wow.
works. Well, what I was saying, basically, Uber said I had a 2-year warrant or whatever. But so okay, I decided to get back in the 18-wheel truck and just drive again after 2 years, maybe something like that. And I come into a spot to where I'm coming over the bridge and go to the weigh station. I'm like 1,500 pounds overweight, and it was Arkansas. And I remember like seeing this warrant supposed to be on the debtor's name or whatever. And I know I'm an SPC, so I went in, took my
Now,
ID.
to those that don't understand, when he say SPC, he saying secure party creditor.
Right.
Go ahead.
Okay, by me knowing I'm a security party creditor, didn't nothing hit my license as far as points or whatever. So in the back of my head, okay, they're saying it's a warrant on the debtor's name. So I give them the debtor's CDLs. And
Hold on. Let me explain something else. When he says the debtor, he's talking about what you guys call the straw man, the legal fiction, the corporate construct.
Right.
I give them the officer, the debtor, the officer in the weigh station. You know how you have to take your paperwork in, your bill of lading, your insurance and all that for the truck. So I give the officer the debtor's CDL. He ran it. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, is they going to see the same thing that Uber saw, this bench warrant or whatever? So to get further on down, he basically sat there for 30 minutes looking through the system. And he said, I'm going to give you a warning. You know what I'm saying? As they do all the time.
Wow.
But he said, you can't move the truck until you get this weight off of here. So that's what I did. I got the weight off and I was on my way.
How'd you get the weight off?
But actually, I was close to Memphis, my hometown. So what I did, I dropped the trailer with the material on it. He let me go in the tractor back to my home, swap vehicles. I jumped in my pickup, brought it back to the weigh station. I was hauling shingles. So I took off maybe like 36 bundles of shingles, took them back to my home, dropped that out where I dropped my whole pickup off, you know what I'm saying? Because I had to get back to my load. Jumped back in my semi, came back over. Because he saw me out there, doing what I was doing, hooked up, went back through the scale. He gave me the thumbs up.
Okay.
That's one incident. Another incident, I guess I talked to you about when I had a crash. I actually crashed into some people who were trying to get around me. It was, to my knowledge, it was their fault, They didn't want to wait for the truck to move, and they kind of like went around me real quick. At the same time, I was making a right. Well, getting into that lane, I kind of crushed them, disabled their vehicle, and what I did was I was like, man, my career is over with. You ain't gonna get away with this one. It's an accident. Big truck. You need CDLs for this big truck. So I actually jumped out with my national passport because I had it at the time. I put the CDLs in my shoe. And when the officer came up, I gave them the national passport. And she ran it or whatever. And she was like, basically, I can't get anything with this name and birthday. So to my knowledge, I was like, okay. She was like, well, do you have a state ID or a CDL? Because she wants to write, she said she wants to run the numbers. So, at the time, I'm okay, you're looking for some numbers. You're not looking for, my name and date of birth or whatever, because what's on my passport is on the CDLs also. They kind of match. So I give her that information because I said I remember it in my head, like the number, and she ran it. And sure enough, she was like, well, is your vehicle, operable? Can it run? I was like, yeah. She was like, basically, you could just leave. I was shocked.
So why?
and
So why are they allowing you to get away with
and I
this
just
stuff?
left the scene.
Are
You
they
know,
looking up? Are they looking up your your
They're
information and
not.
they're
They're not
saying
finding anything on him in the system. So
because he changed his status or something?
yes, because he
Okay.
became a secure creditor. So he's coming up differently. And so they're saying the woman said, I can't find, and this is not the first time that this happened, right? I don't know if you guys know young Pharaoh. When I first done his packet, he was still on probation. And he wasn't supposed to be out of the state of New York. But he had went down to Atlanta to do a show, right? To give a speech. And he got pulled over. And he said, oh man, I'm going to jail now. You know what I mean? Because he violated. So he said that the constable told him the same thing. Did you just move to this country? I can't find nothing on you. We have no. Now this is a guy that just got out of prison. He said we have nothing on you. So he called me and told me immediately, man, I don't know what the hell this thing is, man. But yo, man, this thing saying I don't exist. So yeah, it's pulling him up
Wow.
funny.
So this is part of your secured party creditor book that
Yes,
people could buy and learn how to change your status to a
yes,
creditor and not a debtor.
yes.
Can I ask, because with a lot of these, people call them remedies, right, in the field, they they'll often say like, okay, a certain amount of people will use this, remedy, and then the sort of powers that be will change the goalposts and whatnot. So it won't always work, if that makes sense. So if you're like, okay, you can get away with, I don't know, what, a parking ticket or whatever like this, and then a bunch of people do it that way, they say that then, the authorities sort of click on to, they catch on that people are using this system or whatever, and then they start changing. So you can't get away with that anymore. Is that true? Or because it sounds like what you're doing is actually solid.
Well,
And
the law is the law, and people that say that kind of stuff right there,
mm,
because the law doesn't change unless they go in and change it, right? So one of the things that Kahan Tazadaq always facilitate to the people
mm,
around him is show me the law. If there's no law on it, you can't do it. So it doesn't really matter what the system says, is what does the contract says.
mm,
So I have this aphorism: contract is law, and law is contract. Always argue the contract. Don't get involved into an argument because an argument is the art of disputation and you're going to lose. But when you look up the word argue, it means to make clear. So it's okay to make it clear, but don't get into an argument. But everything is governed by contracts.
mm,
And contracts are dynamic so we can make them move. So what do I care about if they're changing it? It's what the contract says. And if I can make a contract move, I can make it move in my favor. It's just a matter of understanding the contract, right? And that's what people don't focus on is that, listen, there's nothing that you do in life that doesn't involve a contract, whether it's viva voce, whether it's written, or whether it's by implied or express consent. But there's always a contract involved. When you get in a relationship with a female, there's a contract involved, right? There's nothing that you could think of right now that you could tell me that doesn't involve a contract of some shape, form, or fashion. From registering your children in school, when you register your children in school, you lose authority over your children,
mm,
right? The fact that you're referring to them as children is a ward of the state. Because a man and a woman doesn't have a child, they have a son or a daughter. A child or children are fiction. That's a legal term created by the system. So we don't think of any of this stuff when we go into the courts. We just, again, it goes back to what we've been taught in colloquial speech and common parlance. So, but if we can make the contract move in our favor, then we always win. The only thing I could say, it works for me every time. And I'm not exact. If you go back and listen, I got testimony at the testimony on my channel. I have old talk show things before YouTube even came out and was popular. I used to do this on talk show, and I used to help people for free. So this is the thing. When I first started doing this, I experimented on myself. You can see some of my old videos. I'm still on my channel where I was discharging cars. And people, yo, did you? They zeroed out the balance. Like they didn't think it, and then it got to a point. They said, okay, well that worked. Do this, that worked, and do this.
Mm.
I said, well, you know what? I'm not going to try and convince these people. You're entitled to that belief. I've helped people beat foreclosures, all of this. It works if it's done correctly. But what happens if too many people get onto this? The system's going to implode. It's not going to longer. It's not going to longer function because you get people that just want to abuse this, right?
Right.
They want to make a living off of the process, and
Yeah.
those are the kind of the type of people that generally causes the problems because they want to go to extremes and they want to withdraw money. And
Yeah.
I make the dispute with anyone, any so-called guru that's saying that you could withdraw money from this because the first thing that I tell them is to show me the law. How in the hell can I withdraw money if there isn't any money? There hasn't been any
Exactly.
money since
Yeah.
under Franklin Delano Roosevelt. They talk about 1933 when
Yeah.
gold was taken out of circulation, right?
Mm.
Yeah,
And
they claim
silver,
bankruptcy and took the people's gold.
right, right. So there's really no real money. We have promissory notes.
Mm.
So
And the
and
money
when
even
people,
says debt notes on them, right? The money
right,
even says right on it, debt note.
right. And so when people argue with me, why don't you? Because a lot of briefcases that came on and say, why don't you pay your bills? And I said, well, why don't you give me something to pay them with? They said, well, you have Federal Reserve notes or promissory notes. So it's the same thing as me doing an accepted for value. I'm basically saying only the accepted for value is better because there's no excise tax attached to it. Because the Federal Reserve notes, we don't own them. They have an interest rate. For everyone that's print, the de facto is charged the face value plus 2 to 3% to print those notes, right? Because they don't own it, right? Now they used to have money like the greenbacks and all of that. Those were governmental notes. But
Yeah.
if you knew anything about that kind of money, it was worth its weight in silver or gold. It would literally say 10 silver dollars. You see, the money today doesn't say that. It's just really monopoly money. It has no intrinsic value. It's a promissory note. And if you look up promissory note, it's a promise to pay. Promise to pay me when? When real money returns into circulation. So they want to make people believe that people that talk about this stuff is crazy. But then in the land of the insane, the sane is deemed to be insane. You see?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Can you
Andre,
can
what else
you can you just real quick accept for value? I feel like that's such an important subject.
hold on, Andre. Hold on. He says, okay.
Because I've heard people say like when they hand you a bill or something, like do you just say like accept for value? Like what exactly is going on with this? With the
Well,
accept for
see,
value?
and that's the other thing. It depends on whether or not it's a true bill.
Mm.
See, a true bill, and I've explained that in some videos, like some things are not really true bills. So if it's not a true bill, Kahan Tazadaq may convert it into a money order, right? Not the kind
Oh,
that you get
okay.
into the post office, right? Because for a check or something to be cash, there's typically a few things that need to be on it. You need a seal, you need someone's signature. When you signature, you're signing your nature. Signature, you're signing your nature over, right? And then it's going to have to be made out to something or some entity backing it. Now, the only difference between my accepted for value and their checks or whatever, right, is that they have the GOV on those. And so people are like, well, who in the hell is Tazadaq? I'm not going to trust this. I'll trust.
Mm.
This is how they're thinking.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing from the GOV. It's just really a piece of paper, right?
Mm.
It's just really a piece of paper that someone says has value. And the only real value that it has is the value that we give it, which is our faith. That's it. It has no intrinsic value, none whatsoever. It's not like gold to silver that we can forge it into something
Mm.
and make something out of it. It's just paper with a printing on it.
Gotcha.
So it becomes a consensus reality. So we all just add value to it without even
Our belief.
realizing. Yeah,
Belief.
yeah.
Well, listen, man. This right here, this flash drive,
Mm.
I could do an accepted for value with this if you understand the process, right? I could do an accepted for value because that's all it is. I could say, hey, please accept for value this marker right here. It sounds crazy, right?
Mm.
But when you look at history, don't you know that people used to
Trade.
accept all types of things?
Yeah, your labor
that-
or
yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Is that what
Yes.
the terms like sweat equity? I've heard sweat equity is like that's a form of sort of payment or something like that, right?
Yes.
Or value. Yeah.
Or value, yeah. That's
Hey, I sent John Bourne that link. Did you guys see him in the room?
is he there, yeah?
Andre had one more thing, and I'm gonna try and call John because he
No,
probably
not
don't
yet.
want to come on.
Yeah, Andre, he's still there, yeah?
Okay, Andre, what else you got for? So now, mind you, Andre is not talking about a regular POV. This is in commercial vehicles. And if you know anything, if you pull up to a commercial weigh station and your truck is overweight, they will force you to park that truck, right? And you'll find what Andre, maybe $3,000 or something for these kind of stops. This is big money for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Go ahead,
That's
Andre.
that's crazy, man.
Yeah, I want to say this one thing, just because they give you a warning. With it, at one time they did when I was coming to a construction zone in the left hand lane too long in front of the officers, which was monitoring this part of section of the highway.
Mm.
They were monitoring this section of the highway because the police station is like right there on the highway where they can just come out. So I was hovering. I was in the left hand lane too long. They pulled me over because of that. And when the guy came to the truck, as normal, we're doing an inspection on your truck. He was in the left lane too long. Give me your driver's license, BOLs. Let me see your ELD. He took the information back to his car, patrol car, and came back within about 30 minutes or whatever. Said he's gonna give me a warning for this. Now I done been through this plenty of times, and this may be like the fourth or fifth warning about this because I was kind of laughing like, okay, let's see what this guy gonna do to my rear. So he came back. He was like, I'm gonna give you a warning and this and that. You know what I'm saying? So at this time, I'm on the road. Been out there for about 2 weeks, and now it's time for me to go home. So when I get back home, I get to the mailbox. It's like 3 weeks later. I have an envelope in the mail from Ohio Commission stating that I was in the construction zone. They was talking about this incident and that I need to dispute it or whatever. And they were like, I had 30 days to dispute it. If I don't dispute it, then consider that this incident happened. And I guess it was going to be a ticket then. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So basically, I knew what to do. I did a conditional acceptance. I really kind of hurry up and did it because I think this was like 3 weeks in. I had probably about 10 more days to get it done. So saying all that, if you get a warning or something like that, especially as a truck driver, check the mail within 30 days, 20 days, I say, because you might be getting something in the mail where they're trying to cross you up, Like I said, if I didn't do that within 30 days, send them a conditional acceptance, then it was like I did the incident. It was like, the ticket's gonna come now, and I have to pay.
Because not acknowledging or not answering is still an answer, right? They take it as basically
Conditional acceptance.
Conditional acceptance, right? Because you're not arguing against it.
Exactly. But like I said, just because the officer gave me a warning, right? The commission, when it got back to them, they were probably, they was like, the officer, I guess, I don't know why he gave me a warning, whatever, for whatever reason, he gave me a warning. After they go through the system and got back to the commission, I guess this is their opportunity to try to railroad me again, because if I did not respond to that letter that they sent me, I would have acquiesced it, and then they would have got a default.
Yeah. Yep.
But I stayed in honor by giving them a conditional acceptance.
Wow.
So just because you get away with something, if they got an address or whatever, whatever, just check the address or whatever and see, because, might have, see if they send you something, because they just might send you something in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
So you were able to figure out how to do all this with Kahan's book, with Tazadaq's book?
Oh yeah,
Or,
yeah. I bought quite a few books from Tazadaq, and I studied, read. When I'm over the road driving, I don't listen to the radio or anything. Most of the thing I listen to is like the prophets. Going down the road. Get a lot of Bible verses in my head. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Listen to Tazadaq. You know what I'm saying? The videos that he got 10, 15 times. Basically,
yeah.
I've been doing this for like 15 years.
Okay, yeah.
Especially since 2009, especially as far as the Bible. That's all I listen to going down the road. So I know the scriptures like in the back of my head.
See,
So
that's the thing I loved
here,
about this too, was like when I first figured out that, like, in the New Testament, they're kind of teaching us how to handle the courts. Like Jesus actually, like, knowing the Bible, you'll actually know a lot about how to handle the courts. Would you
I'm gonna
agree?
tell you this one more story, right? It was back in 2008, 2007. And I always read the Bible coming up. So I prayed to myself. I heard one thing: you got to get by yourself, go in your closet. So I spoke out loud to the Most High, and I was like, I want to know this book. I want to know what's in it. I've been reading it for years and years and years. Can you please give me knowledge, understanding, and wisdom? Something like that. You know what I mean? It didn't come right then, all of a sudden, but over the years, the prophets came to me in some kind of way, because this was way before I even saw any Israelite on the street. Well, I'd never seen an Israelite on the street. I had a real journey. This was before I got on the internet or saw anything or whatever. But somehow, some way, the word got to me, and I was able to cipher the Bible, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. So, and with that came first. Then came Tazadaq, and he was on the same structure, same level, as the book. And he come with more information, and it stuck with me, like, with the debt stuff, you know what I'm saying? Forgive us our debts and all this stuff, everything just coming. So I say it was a process, and it took a while, I got far as to this part with Tazadaq was in, I think, 2019. Well, no, yeah, about 2019, something like that. 2018, 2019. But like I said, it goes hand in hand,
Yeah, I
knowledge,
agree.
understanding, and wisdom.
Yeah, well said.
That's amazing, man. That is like, to hear that.
So that's one thing that, I stuck with. I was like, okay, because I always knew it was something. I look up and I say, oh, this is amazing. This is impossible just to be, somebody had to create something or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's too great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I said, I started there, and now I'm where I'm at right now with the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So I say it all came For instance, from the Bible, we study and asking that question, knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. And I think this go hand in hand with it.
Yeah. So I will always tell people that if you don't believe in the Most High, these people are gonna break you. When you go into these courts, if you just going in just as Joe Nobody and you're agnostic or atheist belief, they will break you.
Mhm.
It has to be something more than just you. I'm telling you, because
Yeah.
I've seen these people break a lot of people down. You have to be spiritually strong, as the scriptures say. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood. That's true, because they would keep sending you things and break you. I've seen dudes that I knew that knew this stuff. Right, I study with them, but when they go in court, man, they break down like a damn shotgun. They don't remember nothing. They
Wow.
don't remember anything because of fear. So that's why I
Mm.
started telling people you have to be totally undaunted. You have to be fearless, because if you go in there and you freeze up, you're going to hate yourself after that. You're going to say, oh, I should have done, oh, there's John right there. I should have done this. I should have done that. I should have done this. And you're going to hate yourself. So you have to be totally undaunted. And you got to,
Yeah.
again, you got to know who you are. You got to understand offer and acceptance. You got to understand words. So all of this stuff matters. See, people think they can sit down and you see all these new people on TikTok. And man, these people are clowns. I look at some of their stuff in a few minutes. I said, man, this is all lies. And this is why a lot of these people won't talk to me. I've deciphered a lot of those people things and make them look stupid. So this stuff doesn't work. They're setting people up. See, I have a moral conscience, right? I'm not gonna tell someone to go and do something I haven't done myself,
Mm.
right? And I'm not gonna sell something because I have a conscience. I'm not gonna sell something to someone that I know that don't work. Some of the bigger names, I won't say the names, that people think are really solid, people have gone to those people and then come to me and be like, yo, so and so done this to me, and yeah. I said, okay, yeah, I don't really do that. It didn't work out. It didn't work. You know, a certain guy that's kind of big right now, one of the people came from over there and say, yo, he told me to do this money order. Then the feds came knocking on the dude's door. But real
Yeah.
talk,
Wow.
for creating a money order, right? So
Dude.
now this dude's asking me, should I give him up? I said, well, he didn't make you do that, bro. You know, you had an option not to do that. So now you turning into a snitch. I say, you know, so if you came over here and you got some information from me, which is voluntary, by the way, because I don't tell anyone to do anything. I always give a disclaimer. In fact, this is not legal advice. I don't offer legal advice. If you need legal advice, seek yourself a competent counsel and please be advised. All of this that you've heard this far is for educational purposes only. That's it. And so if you try it, then that's on you. It doesn't fall on me or anyone else on this platform.
Mhm.
You've decided to do that at your own will. I'm not suggesting anyone do any of this. So you have to have faith in something higher than yourself, and you have to have faith in yourself. And you really got to understand this before you do it and question everything. Question every for I started this 2008, 2009, making YouTube videos. They flagged my channel numerous times. I brought them back under many different names, but since then I've been telling someone, prove me wrong with one thing that I've said, and no one's been able to do it. They haven't been able to prove me wrong. It works for me every time, and everyone that applies it appropriately. I wish I could get Crystal on. Doesn't matter what color you are. I've had remedy for Asians, whites, blacks, Hispanics, whatever. They all get the Crystal use my debt validation letter, and then you guys won't believe this, in my book called The Plug, and she got a title to her car that
Wow.
she owed 30,000 on with a debt validation letter because she
What?
followed the procedures. Another guy did it in Florida. Don't you know that they sent this guy the letter? He didn't realize what it was. and the guy ripped the thing up, threw it in the trash. And I told him that was a letter that you were supposed to take. It was a letter that say congratulations for paying off your car. This guy threw it away. Then when he tried to get it back, they wouldn't give it back to him again a second time. I said, well, man, that's really on you. But it just shows you the mindset of some people. They want to be carried by the hand. I was like, that was actually the letter. He was like, do you think they would give it to me again? I said, I highly doubt it. Guy in Florida. Huh.
I wanted to say something before I forget. This was something that I like to do, and I want to hear your take on it. So to me, one of the basic things to me, because obviously I don't know as much as you, and I didn't know what I was
Andre,
doing, but something that seemed
yeah, I
to
sent you
work
that link. Go
is
ahead, Vinny, I'm listening.
I would when when the when talking to the robe, I would
Yeah.
say,
Try to tap into
oh,
the link,
I'll
okay?
wait a
All
second.
right, all right.
And then we're gonna be on here for a minute.
All right, not much longer. This ends at 9. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay,
All
okay,
right, all
okay.
right, all right. Slow.
So so one of the things I would do is I would always start off by saying I'm an idiot. Now I know
Yeah,
you
that's a good
probably
one though.
and I would play dumb. Like they'd say you were, you were driving, and I'd just stand there, I'd wait, and I'd say, I drive nails through wood, and I would just like say stupid things and just act like an idiot, and I would just keep saying I'm an idiot. And eventually they would just get mad and just throw me out of the court all the time. What do
But
you think
that's a
about that?
really strong defense. I've used that
Right?
before.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
heard you talk about it too. Let people know
yeah.
what an idiot means.
So when
Mm,
you look at that, I don't know if Diggs could pull this word up. If you
mm,
pull up the etymology dictionary,
okay.
pull
Mm.
up the word idiot, and you'll see an idiot essentially means someone that's an outsider, that's not a part of the society. So when he went in and said he was an idiot, he's basically saying, I am not a part of your society. Therefore, they didn't have jurisdiction over him, and he's an idiot. Say,
Yep.
well, the road told me, well, if you're an idiot, get out of my court. See, they always give us a
That's what
window if you're listening.
yeah, and I was
Okay.
like, all right. And then the judge was like, is there any other idiots in here? And of course, nobody said anything. And they all went and probably got abused by the judge and had to pay traffic tickets. Me, I just walked out, got back in my car, and drove off.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I just kept saying stupid things to because they want to trick you, So like you were driving, and I was like, I drive nails through wood, just saying stupid things and because again, like he said, they're speaking legalese. I
Yeah.
don't speak legalese, so you might as well be speaking Chinese to me, right? So they're saying things, and I'm like, I like I like sugar in my coffee. I would just say random stupid things until the judge just got fed up, and I was like, I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. And then he's like, get this idiot out of my court, and I just walk out smiling.
Whatever it takes to get out of there.
Yeah, without getting hurt and thrown in jail.
Idiot.
And yeah, and I would do like what that other guy was saying too. A lot of times, because there is the fear. Like some people are just scared to like do public speaking. But
Yeah.
imagine when you're standing in front of the public and you got the judge and the cops and everybody there, and maybe you're facing serious charges. There's going to be fear. And to me, I would actually like that other guy. I would read the Bible to get motivated. I would read a lot of stuff about Jesus. I mean, Jesus was being brought in front of courts and constantly being challenged on stuff. So
Yeah.
like I would go and read that stuff and I'd get this strength. And I'd go in there like peaceful. Again, you don't ever want to be aggressive or violent with them because then right away that energy,
Right.
they're just gonna come out and they're gonna show you that they're tougher and they got the guns and they're gonna hurt you. So I try to just like even when I used to get pulled over, I used to do that. I had a cop put like a taser right to my forehead and was ready to
Wow.
pull the trigger because I just kept arguing with him. I had them pull me out of my car, throwing my phone in the woods, like so. I learned after a while, like just to be calm and nice, and I would like just joke with them and just make it like I'm an idiot, and it kind of takes away their aggression. You're showing you're not a threat to them. You're not insulting them. You're just Uh, so yeah, that's some advice for anybody who does this stuff. Like, you know, you want to go in it not aggressive and angry.
All right, John Bowen, JB. The brother Diggs wanted to hear, I guess, his audience to hear a testimony. I was telling them Andre was getting remedy doing the traffic side, and you're one of the primary people that settled and closed debts via the EFT. Seems to be your favorite method.
Absolutely. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Loud and
sir.
clear.
Man, all right. Hey, man, thanks for contacting me, Kahan, and having me come on. I'm glad that I was available, that I'm available today to speak with you and potential EFTers. But yeah, man, getting right into it. So I was actually reviewing some of the old documents because I got into this movement in 2021, and one of the ones that I have here, it's not a big one, but at the time, of course, I was like you guys. I was just trying to learn and figure out if this information viable? Does it really work? Is this pie in the sky? And is there anybody that has some relevant knowledge as of today? Not something that's 3 and 4 years old. Well, I guess you could say the this EFT is a few years old, but my point is, when I got started, I wanted to find out the answers to a lot of this stuff. And before I actually put pen to paper, I can't tell you how many webinars that I was on with Kahan Tazadaq. I invested the money because I knew deep down, I want to know, is this stuff legitimate or is this a bunch of crap? And I was willing to pay the money for either or because I'm the type of person, I was ready to shut the door on this stuff. And Kahan, he just kept saying, "Hey, man, if you wanna find out the truth about what's really going on, you need to come to my webinar." So I said, you know what, man, I'm gonna give this guy Kahan Tazadaq a try. At the time, I'm just looking at videos, the quote unquote, I'm holding air quotes, the free videos that
Yeah.
yeah, that a lot of the guys are looking at, which is fine. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to get into the meat and potatoes, man, you're talking about pulling back the curtain. If you guys ever go into one of his webinars and you sit and listen, man, I tell you, the information that you find there. Oh, yeah. And of course, the books. That's something else that I invested in. I have a number of his books, just about all of them. And I tell you, before I got into EFT, I was on the webinars, I was studying after the fact, and then as far as the books, we actually call the Liberate the Oppressed, which that's the book that I started with. And I think I can't remember the exact price at that time, but anyhow, it actually went up. That book went up. Um, so that book actually has all of the information from A to Z on how to use the EFT correctly and effectively. So I won't tell you the details about the EFT, but it's really straightforward. You fill out certain information on the document front and back, and then you send it in. And of course, I'm not going to tell you exactly who to send it into. That's something you'll
Yeah.
have to go and get the book with, but it is effective. And I don't want to call it a check. We'll say a refund. So this company that I had been dealing with before, um, it was I can't yeah, it was something that happened on my credit. And this company was monitoring my credit because I had an open line of credit with this particular company. And something happened and I wasn't able to get to it. It hadn't even been 30 days. It might have been 7 days, and they sent me a notice and said, "Hey, we noticed that something has occurred on your credit. So we're going to close your line of credit." So at that time, man, that made me mad. I said, "What? You going to close my line of credit for no reason?" I said, at least give me due process to go on my credit and address it, which I did eventually. But in the meantime, I was learning EFT. So I said, you know what, man? I was anticipating on keeping this line of credit open because, of course, it's building up your credit as well. And I was actually using it. It was with a certain furniture company. And I said, you know what, man, let me go up in my lab. Let me get all my stuff together. And I'm gonna send them an EFT and I'm gonna see what happens.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
So I said, all right. So I got everything together, and once again, there's a lot of different things that has to occur before you actually put pen to paper for an effective EFT. So anyhow, um,
That's a
I
lot of
sent
writing
in.
back and forth, basically, right? Like sending notices and
No, it's even before that.
okay.
And what I'm referring to is it is highly recommended that you become a secured party creditor
Oh yeah,
before.
your status, right? The first step is
Yes,
status. Yep.
yes, that is correct. Um, so I sent this EFT to this company, and I didn't hear nothing for a while. And when I say a while, I mean like 7 days. So after a certain time period, they own it. So then
Uh-huh.
some time went on, and in the meantime, I'm looking at the account online, and I noticed that it went to zero. I said, man, well, look at that. I can't believe that. So I said, okay, cool. So after the fact, some time went by, and my wife said, hey, you got a notice from that company, that EFT that you set off. I said, really? She said, yeah. I said, well, go ahead and open it. So, she's opening up the envelope or so forth. She opened it up, and she said, it's a check. I said,
Yep.
a check? What? A check for a set off? She said, yeah. It looks like it's an overage check because I wrote the EFT for more than what it
What
required
you
to
owed.
actually pay it off.
Uh-huh.
So, of course, some people might be wondering, well, why didn't you cash the check? Well, I'm glad you asked because the law states that I have the authority to discharge debt. It doesn't say that I have the authority to cash a check for an overage. So
Hmm.
if you were to cash this check after the fact,
That's how they
you
can get you.
may you may get a knock at the door if they're that polite. Because now you're doing something that banks have the authority to do, and I don't have the authority to do that, and I'm not a bank, and I don't, that's not what I'm looking to do. I'm just looking to discharge debt the correct way and move on. So I'm looking at the check as we speak, guys, and like I said, it's not a lot. It's $94.01, but the purpose of that is to let you know that this stuff is effective and it works as long as you do exactly what the instructions say to do in the books, so forth and so on. So that's my
Mhm.
first one. So the other one that I have, um, I don't have it in front of me right now. So this was a vehicle. Of course, that's going to be a commerce term. But this was a vehicle, and once again, in Kahan, he doesn't really recommend this because when I got into this and I figured out that this was all legit, I went EFT crazy. I do not recommend that you go EFT crazy. I think maybe I sent out in that time period maybe like 10 EFTs at once. And when I say, man, I had a lot of paperwork. Oh my gosh, I had so much paperwork because you got to have these certain communications going back and forth between all of these different parties.
Mhm.
But
So now you're doing it with
um
like credit cards and all types of stuff, right?
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
But I done it with this car, and I discharged the car. I think at the time was like 41,000. And I said, man, you know what? Let's see if this is really effective. Okay, I got a little bit, I got a win over here with some furniture. Let's see what we're gonna do with something
A little
that is
bigger.
tangible. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
let's move it up. So sure enough, man, I sent it in to a certain company. Of course, I won't tell who the company is, but they're over in Virginia. If anybody wants to try to figure out who it is, I don't think it'd be too hard, but they're over in the Virginia area, and it's a big company. And I sent the EFT into them, and I was looking at everything online, and sure enough, it went from about $40,000 down to zero. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I started crying.
I bet. I'm sure your wife was too.
Yeah, yeah. Cause I said, oh man, this stuff right here. And I was talking to Kahan, and Kahan, you can tell when he has a straight face by his response over the phone. I said, yo, man, Kahan, man, it worked, man. Can you believe it? He was like, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I said, I like, man, this dude, he's not giving off no emotion or nothing.
Been there,
So
done that.
yeah, yeah. So sure enough, some time went by, and they sent me that same letter that Kahan was just talking about, that guy received. And it said, congratulations on paying off your car in full. And what it is, it's like you take that down to the DMV, and the DMV, they look at it, look at the numbers and so forth, and it's a lien release, and you get the title to your car.
Yep.
That's amazing. For
Yeah, man.
for people listening to this, how could you not be intrigued? How could this not be exciting to you? I'm sure so many people that are going to watch this video, you probably have car payments, you probably have mortgages, child
Mm-hmm.
support issues. I mean, and think about how much people will pay when they're in trouble to a lawyer. Like, why would you not
Right.
buy these books, which are
Mm.
going to be a lot cheaper than buying yourself a lawyer and doing all that stuff? I mean, I-
It's fair.
it, and like you said, to not believe him because so many people that they put in front of us have gone to jail, people,
Yeah.
the Moors, the sovereigns, and others. But like I'm
Right.
telling you, to like my audience, like I love Kahan Tazadaq, man. This guy, this is why I've been so
Absolutely.
excited and been wanting to do this video. I've been telling him for a while, like it's bucket list to me. Like he's like one of the last people I've been dying to have come on my channel, and I want to promote this guy. I believe in him and his work, and I don't see why anybody wouldn't be like I I can't imagine like how you and your wife felt $40,000 car and you getting the title and the payments.
Hey,
That's an
Ving, but
amazing
John,
story.
John, John is really being modest, man. Yo, when he said he went EFT crazy, he went.
Did he do
This,
mortgage too? Did
this
he?
this dude told me he done probably over 240,000. That's way more than I done.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
had some, I
I
was like,
have.
I just want to get out of debt, and
Wow.
I'm leaving it alone. You know?
Yeah.
I have. That's that's no cap on that, man. I've done I don't know how many, like it's to the point now I've just about done forgot about all of them because it is so effective. It's so effective. And it's one of those things, once you learn about something this effective and you master it, it's
Yeah.
like, why would you go and try to do something else
Mm.
and you don't
Hmm.
even know what the turnout is gonna be? Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
This
It's
is
been
what I
over
challenge. This is what
200,000.
I challenge them with, Vinny. If
Uh-huh.
they go back and they look at my videos when I started, right? To if you look at my initial videos, I was angry. I was because hey, when you're broke, you're angry, right?
You
When you don't
mad?
have any
Yeah,
money, you're
that's
angry.
right.
When you got a problem, pant. But you could see the progression.
Mm.
They was like, this
Yeah.
guy never smiles because I'm broke. What the hell you think? But when this stuff started working, I'm like, yo, wait a minute.
Mm.
This really works. I remember the
Then
first
you're
time I
rocking
got remedy.
suits, and then you're rocking suits, and
Yeah.
now you're driving around a motorcycle
He's
clubs.
all smoothed
Yep,
out, man. For
yep,
real.
that's
That's
true.
crazy,
I've
man.
I mean, how long has it been now, Kahan? What, 15 plus years? I've
Yeah,
Yeah.
about
watched you grow over the
yeah.
years, man. I remember the first time that I noticed that Kahan, when he had discharged, I'm sorry, his authorized representative had discharged a vehicle, he didn't even use the EFT method.
Nope, nope.
He used
A for
a
V.
presentment, which most people call it a bill. He just used a presentment that came through the mail and did some certain things on it along with the verbiage, and
Is that
he
where you're
showed.
like challenging that it's like th that the words are wrong or like something like that, right?
No,
Like,
I just
no?
accepted what they said that. So I know enough now to know that when they allegedly are sending me a bill, they're sending me the remedy at the same time that they're sending me the bill.
Mm,
So I said, oh, well look at here. They want me to pay this off. They're paying the car for me. So I just need to put the proper documentations on there and send it back to them. It's a conditional acceptance. It's all it really is.
okay. Okay.
A for V, conditional acceptance. I'm conditionally accepting this for value. What they say I owe, and just like Jordan said, I always write them a little extra over. And
Uh-huh.
they've sent me checks, but
But you won't cash, right?
I've never cashed them. I
Yeah.
just rip them up. Anyone that's around me know not to cash that.
Mm.
Yeah. Now, I just wanted
Because
to
it's for
ask
a
one
set off
question.
settlement and closure, right? If you understand, this is why you have to understand what you're reading, because it says settle settlement and closure. So if I cash that check, then that account isn't closed. I'm reopening it. You see?
Yeah, it's not balanced out,
Yeah.
right? So I just wanted to say one more thing for like the audience and people that maybe for the first time hearing about you. So let's say someone's like in a rush, right? And maybe they don't feel that they could put in 4 years like John just did. Is there a way that they could like pay you to do the work for them? Like let's say someone has an emergency thing. Do you have a program to where you could help them or you would help them
No, I
for
don't. The reason I don't like to do that is because when people don't always listen either, right?
okay.
People people really don't listen. And the other thing is that they don't want to assume any responsibility, right? Because I can't be there. I can't go to court with them, right? I mean, I
Hmm.
could try and show up as amicus curiae, a friend of the court, right? But
Yeah.
some jurisdictions won't allow that, right? But
Okay.
if they can't, here's the thing: if someone knows something, they should be able to explain to me how to do it. And so whether I do it or they do it, if I do it, they haven't learned anything. And if they get challenged on it, it's not going to work. They're going to
Good
know
point.
someone else
Good
did that,
point.
right? If
Yeah.
they get challenged on it, which they will, because
Yeah.
if they find any form of insecurity in you, they're not going to do it. Now, what I've had done for people were foreclosures, but any kind of
Like
commercial
court.
presentment,
Yeah.
I usually won't do that because
Yeah, that
people
makes
could
sense.
falsify those kind of documents and
Hmm.
it could backfire on me. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I get it now.
Yeah.
But maybe what you're saying, like for mortgages or like the paperwork for that type of stuff,
Yeah.
then you could
I
probably
mean,
help people.
I could talk them through it,
Uh-huh.
but I'm not gonna sign that for them.
Mm.
I'm not
Gotcha.
gonna put my liberty on the line for someone because I've seen people switch up on you quick.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah, it sounds like the smart way to go about it because you can't really control how people can say one thing to you, but then,
Right.
they're doing a whole nother thing behind it all.
They trying to send me to bull me, man.
Yeah,
They trying to send
right,
me to bull
right,
me.
right, right,
Send me
right,
the
Yeah.
right.
bull.
Tell me the
Yeah.
bull.
Oh,
Hey.
there's John showing the books, it looks like. John,
Yeah,
you
that's
gotta
You-
liberate
talk.
the oppressed right there.
John, talk so your screen will pop up for the audience. They could see your books.
Okay. Yes, so this is for anybody that wants to go and check out the EFT and so forth. This is the book right here that I started with that got me the remedy that we just spoke about.
Mm.
And trust me, when you get this book, it's like a Bible. When
Wow.
you get this book and you start to go over the information, it's gonna take you quite some time to actually go over the information before you can even understand what it is that you're looking to accomplish. It's so in detail, but it is effective. So once you get this book, you send in your EFT, you do your follow-ups. See, that is where the magic occurs. It's the follow-ups. It's not necessarily the initial EFT, it's how you conduct yourself with the communication. And like Kahan said, if they sense fear in your writings, like you don't know what's going on, man, they're gonna come for you.
Hmm.
Mm.
They're gonna
Mm.
want to make an
Yeah,
example out of you.
right,
Yeah.
right. So I
And
just wanted to show that.
and I forgot to mention, Khan, looking at that, for people who served, you served 8 years, if I'm correct, right? In
Yes,
the
yes, yes.
Wow. Yeah, you've done a lot in your life, man.
I sued them also. I just won two
Really?
major suits against them. Yep.
Wait, please tell me real quick about
Wow.
that. You got to tell us.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I want to talk because I just
Okay.
done that. I mean, this just took place a week ago. I got the results back a week ago. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And I've been fighting this probably like 11 years back and forth with them.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
And just last week it
yeah,
finally got done.
yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
one last month. I won one last month, and then I won the final thing last week. I mean, yeah, final. That puts me in a really good position too.
Mm.
Uh,
Good for
Wow,
you,
that's
man.
no wonder you're smiling so much tonight, man.
uh.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
Tazadaq, do you,
actually, I'm going to Africa next month, man. I'm about
oh,
to
for
travel.
real? Where you
Yeah,
going?
Ghana and then Kenya.
Ah,
Life is
Ghana, that's my
That
beautiful,
people,
man.
man.
that's where Diggy comes from.
Yeah,
Oh
man.
yeah?
Yeah, that's where my mum and dad are from.
Oh,
Ghana.
is that right?
Yeah, I was born in London, but yeah, man. Whereabouts are you going?
Well, I have a friend over there. He went over there, Israelite brother. He been over there like I mean, he's an elder to me. He been over there like 27 years. So he got his family there.
Mm.
So I'm gonna go over there and try to establish a business. I want to set up a bookstore with a
Yeah.
cafe inside of it. That's the type of time I'm on. Trying to go back to the
Nice.
motherland. You dig?
Wow. Yeah, boy.
Yeah,
That sounds right, man. No wonder. So that's the plan for this year.
yeah, yeah. But I'm
Mm.
trying. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to establish like a residency. I'm trying to get the elder to sit me down with the I've been looking up the information what's needed to do something like that because they want you to pay a huge fee if you're not a citizen of that. I think if you want to start some sort of commercial business, it's like $1 million or something like. But
What?
yeah, it's huge.
Mm.
But if I did, let's say if I started a religious assembly, I could do the religious assembly and then have a commercial thing on the side where you sell books because he was telling me where you from, Ghana or Kenya?
Ghana.
Okay, yeah. So I'm going to Ghana first.
Mm.
So what is that? Accra, Accra?
Yeah, Accra, Accra.
Yeah, Accra. So
Yeah, I go
from
into
Accra,
Accra.
he lives about 3.5 hours, right? And so one of the brothers was telling me, nah, store it in Accra, but he was like, nah, bring it out here because we need it out here. Because Accra is pretty much, it's kind of like the United States. You can pay some pretty good, like the prices are not that cheap. It's not much difference from here. But when you go out into the bush, it's different.
Mm.
So I'm good. I just got my visa 2 days ago. I went.
Nice.
I got all of the vaccines from the military for free. The only thing they really required was a yellow fever though. But I got
Yeah,
a few more.
did you do the did you do it, yeah?
Yeah,
The
I got
yellow
it already.
fever. Yeah,
Yeah,
right,
and I
right.
got me some malaria pills right here. I'm good. I'm ready, man. I'm ready to make moves.
You're good. You're good. You
Yeah.
probably won't even need the pills, bro. Trust.
No,
Just live.
no, no. My man went over there and caught my malaria.
Just drink
There's a dude that's
drink.
been going over there. I guess some mosquitoes, man, but I don't know.
Yeah, you
But
gotta
he,
drink the bottled water.
yeah, that's what they told me.
Yeah, as long as you're drinking bottled water, you'll be good.
Uh,
Um, yeah, what was I gonna ask you though? So yeah, have you looked at then, your side of things in terms of law and whatnot in Ghana, like how it works over there?
Not yet.
Not yet, but that's your plan.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Oh
yeah.
man, we gotta stay in touch, bro. Jeez,
Yeah,
what? You gotta
You
yeah.
take
guys
that over there,
do some music together too, you guys.
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
I
yeah,
wanna
yeah.
start some kind of assembly over there, man. Like I'm trying to put something together over there. Yeah, the
Serious.
elder got a big. He got a really big, huge house over there, man.
In Accra, yeah.
Yeah, no, not in Accra. He's 3 hours from Accra. He
Okay,
don't want to be in the city. He
yeah,
kind of lives out in the country.
right,
So
right.
when I get there, like Monday, I'm gonna go and apply for my international permit, so I could get me a rental when I'm there. Yeah,
Yeah, of course. What are you
yeah.
going for? What you going? What kind of rental are you going for?
I'm not. I don't know. I'm probably gonna get Hertz, or I might get a motorcycle also. But my man's is already over there. Ben's
Yeah.
over there. Ben went over there and got married, man.
Wow. Well, you found him a Ghanaian wife.
Yeah, but he went out to the bush to find her. You know what I mean? Yeah. He don't. You know what I mean? Because I mean,
Wow.
yo, they're not slow, man.
Nah, yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? He wanted, the traditional woman. You know what I mean?
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Wow. So he's out there eating fufu, palm nut soup, the
Yeah, he's
kenke.
gonna still be there when I get there. He's gonna be there when I get there.
How long are you going for?
I'm going for like almost a month, like 25 days.
Nice, nice.
First time. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, man. Enjoy, man.
Yeah.
Enjoy, brother.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
gonna be
that's what's up.
crazy, man.
I didn't even
Yo.
know you was from Ghana, man.
Nah, yeah, I know. People that I don't know where I look like I come from, to be honest, but I'm guessing for you guys, just looking at me and then hearing the accent is already like, huh?
And
Yeah.
I would have never guessed that, you was from Africa or whatever. Just
Mm.
I was just thinking the UK.
Yeah,
But
right,
but
right.
but
Yeah, that's a
when
whole
you look
nother,
at it, most of us trace back there, especially, the Ivory Coast.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's a whole nother subject right there, isn't
Yeah.
it? To delve into. People really getting into that. So yo, I think it's we're about time in it now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we over it.
We're
cause,
over.
cause, cause Diggy's, it's probably like what, like 2 in the morning for you out there.
Yeah, it's 2 a.m. now. I've got a studio session tomorrow afternoon. So I
Yeah,
wanna
we're good. We're good. We already went over 4
stay
minutes.
fresh, man. Yeah, man. All good though. All good. Thank you for coming on, man. Serious
Yeah, no
Tazadaq.
doubt.
It's really good as well and refreshing to get like real life testimonies. I know there's people that might, you just got to use your discernment. It's like when you listen to these people talking, you can hear that this is real. It's not like made up stuff. I think that's really important as well. So,
Yeah.
love for doing that. And this is the question I wanted to ask is, do you think any of this stuff could work in the UK, like under our
Yeah, it
jurisdiction?
It
definitely.
does. Yeah.
I've literally helped people. I've helped people from the UK. I've helped people from Belgium. I've done a couple packets for people in Belgium.
Wow.
Canada
Um,
too.
yeah,
Canada's a
Canada.
common law.
Yeah,
Wow.
Cause this all
Right,
goes back
right.
to common law, right?
Okay, so that's the jurisdiction that it's all kind of under, the common law,
Yeah.
or you
yeah. I
just
mean, so what it is that usually any country that is not what they really considering, I guess, a third world country, is gonna have this stuff. This stuff is taking over. The only kind of people that's not gonna be involved in this is if they're in a really rural area, right?
mm,
But over here it's called the Uniform Commercial Code. Over there it's
right.
called something, but I guarantee they
Right,
have it.
right. That's
Yeah.
what I was going to ask as well about the uniform. Because, yeah, we don't have that here, but I guess that's the other side of it. Is like, this is your version of that here. Ah,
Like Canada, it's not called that. I can't remember what it was called, but they have a version of it. Like all European nations have it. That's a fact.
right,
Mm.
right. Wow.
And the Asian nations as well. Yeah.
Mm.
Yep.
So,
Man.
what would be the link? Is the connection sort of like if they're colonial country or like
Well, usually I would say if it's someone that's really yeah, colonial, or if they're part of the United Nations, most definitely.
mm,
Yeah.
right, there you go. Yeah. Okay. Okay, that makes sense, man. Wow,
Nice.
man. You dropped some gems on us tonight, bro. Thanks for
Because
that,
when
man.
you think most people operate, I mean, the laws may be somewhat different, but at the end of the day, they're functioning almost the same.
Mhm.
Uh,
And we didn't even really get too deep into how the Bible is kind of connected with this law as
yeah,
well, where people don't understand. But man, hopefully we can do that again the next
yeah,
time, man, and get into that because that side of it, I think, is really,
yeah.
Vinny mentioned it
Redemption.
earlier. Yeah, exactly.
But that's why they call it the redemption process because of the blood of Yahusha, the blood of Christ, right? So that's what our remedy came through.
That's right.
Yeah,
Forgive me of my debt and trespasses.
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
Man, yeah,
Tazadaq, you're so talented, man. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this with me.
yeah, man. Thanks so much for
Um,
that, man.
would you
Yeah,
say,
I regret that people couldn't ask questions because I know some people had questions, but
yeah,
it's all good.
I don't, Diggy, did you see any questions that
You know
people were
what? I
asking?
couldn't find the chat. I was gonna ask you if there's even a
Yeah,
chat, bro. I couldn't see the chat anywhere.
yeah, I was having a problem finding the chat. I
Yeah, I
seen
only
like
see the
people
chat for
alive, but
us.
yeah. Um,
I'm not
but
sure whether you
w
in some settings or whatever you got rid of the chat or
Yeah, I don't even
I
see a
don't know.
chat.
yeah, me neither, man.
I don't even see one for really.
Nah.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I saw that you had the video as private. Maybe that was the problem instead of
Is
like
it
public.
private?
That's what it looked
Oh,
like.
that's why. That's why they can't find it.
Don't lie.
I think that might have been the problem.
No way, man. I'm
We'll
sure I
have to
made
make
it
that
public.
public. But for people to find you, would you say just go to your website is where they can find the books and if they want to contact you, go to
Yeah, they could go there.
kahantazadaq.com.
Yeah, they could
Um,
go to the website. They could go, they could find me on YouTube or the email. Let me drop the email real quick.
yeah.
No way, bro. Where is it?
Yeah, because I sent that to at least 12, 15 people. I only
I
see a
didn't.
few of them on here.
Yeah. Tazadaq Shah, SHAH at
Eh,
yahoo.com.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, I'll
Uh-huh.
try to put links in like the description of the video for when people watch it, uh, to your channels, to your website. We'll try to throw that in there. I mean, the thing to me, like Tazda, because I don't really get in like trouble anymore. I don't have the child support stuff, but
Me
I
either.
mean the debt payments, like I know my wife's got some, like I most people have debt stuff. I don't because I never got involved in that stuff. I'm just like a cash guy. I don't know us Italians, we like cash, but um
Like
I-
J
I-
Big.
but
J
like
Big like cash.
yeah, getting a car or something like that and getting it paid off, like
No,
man,
man.
that gets me excited, and I'm sure a lot of people should be excited. And I hope you get some more traffic. And
But I'll say this that they shouldn't try that until they've actually, just
yeah,
studied and read. It doesn't take people as long as it took John. Crystal was around. She came to a few of my webinars. She learned this stuff, and say 9 months. She was
wow,
discharged, and she called me almost crying. I still got
nine
that
months.
video thing with her on it. Saying when I got that title back in the mail, like I mean, people be just shocked. Like, yo, this stuff really worked.
Yeah, yeah. No, and it's got to feel good to you too, like helping people, bringing this joy and saving people
Yeah, well,
basically.
some of them don't say anything. I've had people that say, yo, you helped save my house. That's it. I said, come on and give a testimony. Then they say I'm shy. I'm like, okay, roger
Yeah.
that. So there's a lot of people out there like that.
Yeah, well, and God knows all the help you're giving people. It was awesome the testimony the guys you had come on and share. I know there's a lot more.
I was trying to get Nicholas Carefoot because he discharged 2 Jeeps, but he didn't pick up. He's in Canada to show them that I works in Canada as well.
Sure.
Uh,
Wow. In Canada as well. All right. Yeah, yeah. Let's try and set that up then. Let's set that up and chat to because I think it'll be helpful for people, in other countries as well to
Yeah, because I
understand
got
that they
some
can
fans
do.
from Canada, from the
Mm,
UK. I got people in South America all over. So
Yeah,
Oh,
and we'll set it up so that the comments are there. I'm not sure why that happened, but next time it is public though. But I'm not
it
sure
is
why the
public now.
yeah it's
Okay.
no, it was already public.
Oh, okay.
right,
Otherwise, we wouldn't have people watching. There wouldn't even be
right,
people on
right,
there.
right.
But
Okay.
I'm not sure why the comments were not on there because that's yeah, that would have been nice to get some questions off. But we can do that for the next one, man, for sure.
Like
They'll probably
it started
comment under the
off.
vid. They'll probably comment under it later.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah,
after it's
yeah.
posted.
True. Yeah, and
Yeah,
then we can go back to them and you know,
Or all
answer
the
some of
people
these
that,
questions.
had questions, contact Kahan Tazadaq.
Yeah,
Go to his
yeah.
website, go to his YouTube channel. He's giving out his email. Because I know there's got to be people that are interested in this and need help
gotta
out
be
there.
some.
And this is the guy, please,
There's got to be some. Yeah, there's got to be some. When's the last time you've been on pre-show?
oh, I
Been a
think
minute.
like a year. The last one I brought on was an ex-Chicago gangbanger who got shot in his face, saw hell,
Wow.
died, and came back talking about hell and how he's like about Jesus now. That
Oh
was the last
wow.
show I did. Yeah, I got big
Wow,
into like the near-death experiences and talking to these people that have died and what they saw and then coming
Wow.
back. And yeah, Dominic Morrow, his name is. He was a big drug dealer guy in Chicago.
wow.
So that was the last show I did with Killer. I just
All right,
been
I'm gonna
busy.
sign off. Yeah, it's at the 9. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Thank you so much again, man.
Appreciate it.
All right,
Appreciate you
thanks
guys
a
for
lot,
having me,
Tazadaq,
man.
man.
Kahan Tazadaq.
Hey, Vinny, give him my number, man, because I might. Well, he don't really know Africa like that. You been there? Have you been
Yeah,
to
What,
he's
Ghana
been
Ghana?
before?
there.
Yeah, yeah, I've been there
Oh,
before.
yeah, all right, all right, all right.
Yeah, I got people there as
Yeah.
well. So,
Yeah, and he
yeah,
travels doing shows and stuff too,
Oh
rapping
yeah,
and stuff. So I'll definitely, yeah,
all
give him
right.
your number. You got WhatsApp or something like that?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
that's
yeah. I
how,
got it.
okay,
yeah.
I'll hook
All
you
right.
up with that.
Yeah,
It's
we'll
the
link
That's how
up
same
I
there.
number.
talk to
It's
him.
the same number as my phone, my business number, the one that you have, Vinny.
Okay,
My
I'll
WhatsApp is
send
that
you.
same number.
All right, I'll hook you up with Diggy through that.
Yeah,
All
man.
right.
Yeah,
All
man.
Nice,
right. You all
man.
be safe, man. I'm
Yes,
gonna
man.
sign
Yeah,
off.
yeah.
Thanks
Thank
so
you so
much, brother.
much.
All right. Yeah, thank
God
you.
bless.
Bless,
All
God
man.
right, get
bless.
out of here.
Nice
Um,
one, Vinny. As always, man.
there's the bottom right. It says leave. There's a thing to
All
say
right.
leave.
That
Yeah,
door right there.
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. All
nice
right.
one, man. Yeah,
Yo,
that was
thanks for
crazy, man.
staying up, Diggy. Thanks for helping me do
Yeah, all
this.
good, brother. All good, man. As always, man. Gotta make sure that the words get out there, so people can hear.
Like how important for real, right? Like even if you talk to your wife or something like, yo,
Mm.
we could be paying off a car, we could be paying off a mortgage, like who's not interested in that? You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
there
yeah,
should be lots of people, you
yeah,
know. I
definitely.
don't think it's just me and you who are into this.
No, man, and especially like John, I think his testimony really kind of made it,
200 something thousand discharge, bro.
concrete.
Come on.
Concrete.
Come
He
on,
was just
man.
like, when it's that thing, you can imagine like yo, this works. Like this really worked. Hold on, let me try this, let me try that. And it's like, come on, man. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? All of these problems gone, man. The smile on Tazadak's face is true, man.
Yeah,
Before he
man.
used to be way more angry. Now he's like, yeah,
Yeah, he's living good.
this shit works.
But he deserves his credit and he deserves to get paid. I hate when I see so many people who like they want everything for free, and they want it easy. And it's kind of messed up. Like this guy put in the work. Like why would you like he deserves to get paid for it. You don't like tell someone to come and like, do electrical work or at your house and then say, well, that's what you do. It should be
Mm.
free. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you should be
yeah.
paying people for their labor and their help. Nobody would expect, some fancy lawyer to work for free. Um,
Well, and
so
the thing is, it's not just like, I'm just buying, you're paying for a thing like a car or, like a bike or whatever. It's you're paying for some knowledge that you can now take
game
with you.
changer,
Yeah,
game
and
changer.
and your offspring, like all your family can learn about this as
Yeah,
well. Like it is actually something that's really valuable if you think
Yeah.
of it in that light.
Start learning about evocable trust people and putting your
Mm,
stuff in that to where they
yeah,
can't touch that. There's
yeah,
so
yeah,
much
yeah,
to
yeah.
this.
It
We could
seems
definitely
like
do more.
you can tell like it takes a lot of stress off of people, but at the same time, like everyone was saying, is it's a lot of work. It's not. I don't think
Yeah.
everybody's capable of doing it. You know, the minds that
No. And that's why
yeah.
I was wondering, like, is there a way like he would help someone that, and I guess he would for if it's like mortgage stuff or payments like that to where you're not going to a court. Because
Mm,
like I was saying, I know firsthand, like everything he's saying is true, and I experienced it. Like when you go to court, the judge and that they're coming at you, and
mm,
they see you mess up one time, you're done,
mm,
and they'll smell fear. They'll smell like if you don't know what you're talking about, and they're gonna abuse you, and you could make things a lot worse. So obviously, court cases are a lot different, and I could see why he wouldn't just like take money and tell someone, oh yeah, go to court and do this, and then they go there, they don't do it right, and they go to jail, and then they're gonna be mad at him.
and then they're gonna
Like,
say, "Oh, it don't work."
yeah,
It
yeah,
doesn't
I
work.
paid him and I'm sitting in jail. Like,
Yeah,
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 but you
yeah, yeah.
didn't do something that
Yeah,
you
it's
know.
like, why are you sitting in jail though?
Yeah,
You know, like there's got to be a reason more than just like, oh, yeah, no, I'm in jail all of a sudden. It's like you must have done something wrong. And like you said, it sounded
yeah,
like that's what he wanted to say is like just people don't listen. You know, he said that
yeah,
people don't listen, and it's obvious that yeah, if you say, look, make sure you don't do this, make sure you do this, do that, and like I said, it just feels like some people are not even capable of that, of like just sticking to the script, you know?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
they'll somehow,
They
some
think
way.
they're smart. They want to sound smart, or they got
Yeah, yeah,
something.
yeah,
That's where
yeah.
I see a lot of people mess up because, like I told you, I've been since 2011 been involved in this type of stuff and worked with a lot of other people before Tazadaq. And they talk a big game, and then I even that guy Carl Lentz I was showing you, like
Mm,
I'd see him going in places and like his stuff like not working. You know what I mean? Like
mm,
them being able to stop him or him like not having a comeback, like the next step kind of stuff.
right.
Or the people that they don't know and their family members sitting in jail because they didn't do something right. Uh yeah, I was with a friend of mine too one time in Connecticut, and I was just there to like watch. It was his thing, and he was trying to do all this stuff, and they just they locked him up, took him to jail because everything he was arguing wasn't working
Mm,
because he obviously didn't know everything like Tazadaq does, and all it takes is just one mix up, and all of a sudden you lost jurisdiction, your status isn't right, or whatever. So yeah, wouldn't recommend anybody to jump into this. Uh, if you got a serious issue, clearly you're gonna have to. I mean, you should be motivated to not go to jail or whatever you're facing. That might be motivating enough to sit there and pound these books. And like he said, there's someone who figured it out within 9 months. So, I mean, it's possible. And for the people who just want to be a creditor and not a debtor, uh, that'll probably be a little bit easier for you. Again, you're not standing in front of a judge. You're not facing jail time. You're just trying to discharge debt. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't be interested in and want to get involved in that.
yeah. On that note, it's up to you,
Yeah.
mother lovers.
Thank you
Yo,
again, Diggy.
all good, man. Love, my bro. Thanks
Yeah.
for yeah, man. Thanks for making this happen, man. It was good, really good to get that information in there. And we've put the links to Kahan Tazadaq in the description. So you
You
know,
you put his webpage
yeah, I put his
and
webpage in there. So you lot also please make sure you like, subscribe, add comments as well. If you've got any questions, we're going to speak to him again at some point so we can come back to this live stream. A little impromptu live stream, man. Last minute thing as well,
yeah, it
you know.
was. Sorry.
It's all
All
good,
of us,
though,
all
man.
three of us, it was like last minute.
Yeah, it's just like, you know what? Yeah, let's do it, man. You know,
Yeah.
it's good to
I'm glad
touch
we
base.
did.
Yeah, always good to catch up with you, bro.
Yeah. Thank
Oh
you.
yeah, hype the video. That's another one now. There's a new one now, Vinny. We got to keep up with the times. Hyping the video.
Hype it.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can like it, subscribe, comment, all of that, but you can also hype that mother lover. So yeah, make sure you lot do that,
Okay.
man. Vinny
All right.
B planting seeds all the while, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. Much love, brother.
Yes, man.
I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, man.
All right.
Stay up, mother lovers.